Who are you?
You're my #1 customer.
Who are you?
You're my #1 customer. You heard me right. Con men, thieves, degenerates, lowlifes, thugs, criminals! Hi, buddy. Pikachu! Pikachu! It's turbo time.
And what's up, everybody? It's Jez7780 here. What grinds my gears with another episode of the Gaming Grindhouse. Let's see what's going on. I had some technical difficulties, life things going on, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, we are here, and I'm happy to have Frogs. Dope Gaming is back. What's up, Frogs? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Just been playing games, man. Playing and beating games.
Nice,
right.
man. So it's about.
Yeah, it's been doing pretty good. I've been saying, I've been playing and beating games. I have no shortage of games, even though I have a PS5, just because I have a, as they say, back catalog on all my systems. But put some time into Ratchet, beat Ratchet finally.
Oh, nice.
It's this game I probably should have beat a long time ago, but
Yeah.
I just sat down and said, let me just finally play it. Really good game. Looking forward to the new one, even though it's a sequel to Ratchet and Enter the Nexus, which is kind of weird. I kind of feel like Sony, or I should say, the guys over at PlayStation, they do some, they take and do some weird moves. You come out with a sequel to a game that's never been released on a PS5 or PS4 console. It was released on PS3. So maybe they should say, hey, after this we can bring these Ratchet games over in some way, shape, or form. But I know we'll get into the whole backward compatibility and
Oh, man, we got
stores closing down and all this yada yada BS. But Sony's been I've been pissed at Sony for the last I'll say about the last couple of weeks. Sony's been irritating me. Microsoft gets on my nerves, and I don't think any company is too big to step on their own foot.
Yes.
Or put their own foot in their mouth. And Sony seems to be doing a little bit of that. I mean, I think
they're not talking, but I know we'll get into it. But it's like that's the top problem, I think.
But I think the problem for me is, and I tell you, that store closure thing was pissing a lot of people off. It didn't bother me as much.
Mm-hmm.
What bothered me more was that
I'll fix my thing.
When they talked about the store closure, I went to the PS3, and I still own my PS3. I have an all white Japanese PS3. Never got rid of it, right?
Wow.
And I went to my PS3 and I was like, let me just go in there and see if I can download some. And I can download, dude. I have probably like 1,900 items I can download. I have a lot of PS3 digital games. So I said, let me download some of these games, and come to find out some of my games working and some of them don't.
Really?
I don't know if it's because it's just the tech is so outdated. Like I tried to play NFL Blitz, couldn't play it. Tried to play NBA Jam, couldn't play it. Tried to play, what was it, God of War Ascension, couldn't play it. And so I was like, let me delete and let me re-download these games. But let me tell you something. When you go back to that PS3 and you boot it up, and you go in that store system, that storefront, I don't know how we really dealt with the PlayStation 3. It's so freaking slow. And I have it hardwired, and it doesn't matter. That system is so freaking slow. And you know, yeah, having a PS5, you realize how slow things were.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know,
right,
even
yeah.
even when I go back and I get on my wife's PS4 to download something, I'm a little impatient. I'm like, oh my gosh, why is it taking so long? And I'm like, okay, this is and you don't realize it. You really, because like my wife, she doesn't realize it. Like she played, what was it, Dirt 5 on her PS4,
Uh huh.
and she's like, she's having fun, and then she comes to my game room and she sees Dirt 5 on the PS5. She's like, why does this game look so different on your
Hey, I
TV?
beat that. I beat Dirt 5
Um,
on the PS5.
yeah, and I look at my wife. I'm like, because I'm playing on the
Finished that
PS5, baby,
mission.
and she's like, oh. And so she plays one race, and the first thing she said is like, "Yeah, this game feels completely different on the PS5." She's like, "It doesn't even feel like the same game." And so for those people who are wondering if the current gen we're in is a big improvement over PlayStation 4 and Xbox, well, it is. It is a big improvement. But I think that something that's been kind of tugging at my strings a little bit is
Mm-hmm.
we don't have the so-called, as people call it, next gen or current gen, as I call it. We don't have the current gen games that really push the power of this hardware. And we're probably not going to get them for I will say, another year and a half, maybe end of year, next year, beginning of the year. I think that maybe at least one of these companies, maybe both, will have something by the end of the year that really kind of shows what the console could do a little bit. Maybe Halo will do it, maybe God of War will do it, maybe Horizon will do.
Be
I don't
nice
know because
there.
these are Yeah, look, these are games I'm interested in, right? Regardless of the hardware, these are games I'm actually interested in.
Yo, Ryan lands in the chat. Shout out to the grinders in the chat. He says driving to the store and buying a physical games on PS3 was faster.
Hey, you know what? He's totally right. I started out PS3 with a physical collection, and I'm gonna tell you, once I retired, I had about probably shit. I probably had about a good, I would say 200 plus games, and my wife is like, "This is getting out of hand. Like we just
Mm.
can't. You can't put this stuff anywhere. You gotta like do something with it." And so what I did one day is I started looking at the store and kind of seeing how much the physical, how much the digital. And what I would do is that whenever a digital game would go down on sale, I would buy it, and then I'd take a physical copy and trade it in at GameStop. And I eventually kept doing it over the years. And I had so much store credit. That's how I ended up
I
buying
still have
my
$400 in store credit at GameStop, and there's nothing to buy.
yeah. That's how I had so much store credit at GameStop. That's what to be honest with you, my PS3 library is what made me get it was what helped me get an Xbox One and a PS4 day one. I got both consoles at day one because I had that much store credit from PS3 games. And then I just went on digital. Um, and I kept the games obviously you couldn't find. There's games you can't find. But I was like, I'm never gonna get rid of this game because if you can't find it digitally, and or they had it in the store but was a different version. But I don't know. Both companies are really kind of rubbing me wrong. Sony right now, because it's my primary place to play, they're rubbing me a little wrong.
Yeah.
Microsoft, not as much. I think both companies are rubbing me wrong because I can't find a console. I can't, I was like I told you before we went live. I've been trying to find another PS5, not for me, or for a friend of mine,
It's
that plays with me.
ridiculous. Dude, it's not even
And
funny how
and I
crazy
said,
it is.
look, I said, my wife wants one, and I said he wants one. I said, look, I said, how about this? I told my wife, I said, how about this? I said, I'll do the unthinkable. I'll buy an Xbox Series X, and you can have my PS5 because you can crossplay with a lot of games we're playing. So I'll just crossplay with you. Big deal. She's like, whatever. If that's what you feel. I said, it's not what I want to do, but if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Can't even find a Series X. And I don't even want it just because I'm a big Xbox fan. I just want it so I can, the games I can play with them, they're crossplay.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
No, it's
damn,
dry,
man, like
man.
this is
It's
it's
dry too.
bad.
Like that's the thing. Like, it's dry. Like this pandemic has really, really kind of like done some unsung things to the gaming industry where it is dry. Like if
Yeah.
we didn't have those launch games to play at the PlayStation 5,
We
like
had
this
nothing.
would have been holy crap, man. With this delay and the delays, all these games, and even games are still getting delayed. But just a shout out to the grinders. I know we had a little bit of a late start. And as you see, I have the thing lined up here because we haven't had Frogs hasn't been on here for a few weeks, and he
Yeah,
had to come
it's
on
been a
here
while.
and grind his gears. So we're starting with
Man.
the grinds table. We got the topics list, but we're gonna just shoot through the topics and we're gonna go old school, like how we started episode 1, just shooting the shit and going through the bullshit of Twitter and internet of all the topics. So, baby, stay good in the chat. Let us know what you want to talk about. Interact with us. We're just going to go down the bullshit and just give our opinion on stuff. Old school grinds table. The grinds board will take a week hiatus this week because, with the late start, I want to make sure that we kind of touch on all the topics. And I don't really think a lot of it really, I think it's just kind of all one bolus thing. And I think Frog put it as a great kind of summary. Just a bunch of horse shit. Just all a bunch of complaints here. Just
Bunch of
gaming
BS.
depression, I would like to call it. It is definitely, if you just follow gaming right now, just with the stuff that's coming up as important and yelling and screaming, like it is just kind of a ugh. And I know we had a couple of W's today, and Microsoft has some W's with their Game Pass stuff, but it's just like crazy stuff. Oh, one thing, Glenza, what's up? But the Floyd was the first in here. What's up, man? Buck Roger, how you doing? Immortal Black, he says, Frog, why does that bother you? I guess he was talking about the whole, just the store and it going down. I know, well, since you brought up the store and stuff, that was one of the, let's start on a good note before we get into the grinds and everybody going crazy. So the good thing is that Sony actually did a 180. Like, they basically turned this around. Now, first off, they were announcing that there was a rumor that they were going to close the stores of the PlayStation 3 and the Vita.
Right.
And then the rumor became a reality, and they were going to shut them down at the end of the summer. And they said the biggest concern that people had when it was a rumor was that I can't play the games that I own. Sony said, no, you can play the games you own, you just won't be able to buy new games. Then some developers came out and were like, I had some games planned for the Vita, and I didn't know that they were going to shut the store down. And there was a whole bunch of hiatus and a whole bunch of stuff about Sony does like they're going to lose these games. Digital sucks. Like your libraries are inaccessible. Some people like, I don't care. And the thing is like, it does matter. Especially my thought was that maybe this was a pivot. Like, we don't know the whole story. Maybe they were trying to get these in a different service. Maybe they were trying to make this in PlayStation Now, and this was kind of a means to an end to shut down those stores and put them into PlayStation Now, or do something along those lines. Like, maybe we don't know the full picture yet. Same thing with Japan studios closing. Like, we don't know, or shifting around. Maybe we don't know the whole story yet of what they're doing, because we're at the beginning of a generation, and there's a lot of moving parts going on, and we don't know. Unlike Microsoft, who just came out there and just said, this is what we're doing from now on, future, the next fucking 10 years, we're clouds and this and that. And
here you go.
They just laid out the friggin' land right there and just said, this is, and I'm like, holy crap. Sony is not saying a lot. What's up, CTR? How you doing? So, the thing is that, so the thing is that the store, so they came out today, and Microsoft-esque did a whole, we misjudged. We're going to keep the stores open for PlayStation 3 and the Vita, which you got the PlayStation 3. I don't anymore. I have a Vita, so that's nice. But, again, it just was they just kind of said we misjudged and we're doing this stuff. And my opinion on it is that I definitely think it was much more. I think they know how many people are actually using those stores, and they felt comfortable to kind of shut them down. They see the people buying games in the PlayStation 4 and 5, and they probably look at people still buying games in those, and it's kind of, I'm sure it's much less, and they probably knew, to close it down. But I think the PR move was the smart move, and just don't do it, because the narratives were starting up. Sony don't care about old games. While Microsoft's pushing, hey, Xbox OG games, even though there's 20 of them, still, they are still kind of using that leverage. And I think as a smart PR move. Sony's just like, you know what? Let's back off. We don't need to shut them down right now. Let's keep them open. People still want to play them.
Right.
And
Right.
right now, the internet's going ablaze. Let's back the fuck off. Yo, the
I
stores
think-
are open. We listen to you. Here we go. What do you think? Hit that like button, everybody.
Yeah, I honestly think this is what my honest opinion is. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really care about the store shutting down. I just cared that I could download the stuff that I purchased from the store
Exactly.
previously.
Yep.
But and another you know, another I guess side of me was like, man, you know, there's a part of me that says, well, I'll never be able to, you know, play some of this stuff again if I don't buy it or I don't download. So that part thought of me. But I can be honest with you, I can't think of the last time I played a PS1 game, and I think usually the only
PS3 game. I mean, PS3.
Yeah, or PS3 game for that matter.
On
right?
the PS3.
The only PS1 games, and I have my original PS1. I have my PS1, the small
Both the PS3 and the Vita. Those
Yeah.
still. Do you have a Vita?
I do have a Vita. I have an all-white Vita. As a matter of fact, all my consoles are white. For some reason, I went on I couldn't find them. And it kind of, long story short, I couldn't find all my consoles in black, so I ended up buying everything in white.
Oh,
You know, but that's another story for another day.
That's another stuff.
Yeah, everything in my room, my Xbox One X, my PS3, my Vita, my original Xbox is white. I got an original Xbox that's white. That's a long story too. But what I'll say is like this is I didn't care that the store necessarily was shutting down. What I kind of worried about more is like, okay, if the store's shutting down, will me as a consumer who was there from basically, you know, the first year of the launch of the PS3, am I going to be able to download the stuff I already purchased?
Yeah.
I worried about that, right? And I honestly, I'm going to be totally honest with you, I don't know why. I understand PlayStation Now is a thing, and I'm going to be honest with you, I have PlayStation Now. Have I been playing it? Yes. This is my dog. She has to be on every podcast with me. Have I been haven't been messing with Game Pass? Yes. What I'll say is streaming is still I stream perfectly, and I've been playing a lot of PS3 games, you know, because obviously, you know, I don't really want to have to hook up my PS3 all the time. But what I'll say is like streaming is great, but I think we're still years and years away from streaming as like something that can be like the thing that this is the way you play from now and you only stream. I think that downloading your physical software is probably the best move. And then I even think at that point, because I look at, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I just look at what Sony did with their last update with the PS5. If you don't have an SSD, like, and this, you know, because people don't think it's a game changer. Yeah, PC guys that say, oh, we've had that for years, but we're not talking about PCs. We're talking about consoles. And what I can say is the SSD is you know, it's become like the staple. Like, if you don't have an SSD, you don't understand what you're really, really missing.
Oh, yeah. I just got an external M.2 enclosure. And I'll tell you, transferring my PC, 1 gigabyte per, what is it? It's a what the hell? It's doing about 1,000 megabytes per second.
Somebody says this frog have a CRT TV. That's still the best for PS. You know what? I had a CRT.
Man,
TV. Yeah. I had the Sony CRT. That was an awesome TV, and I don't know what happened to it. But no. My PS. A lot of people don't know this. Any PS3 is fully backward compatible with PS1 games. Only like that 60 gig.
Oh yeah, because you have that one. Gotcha.
Yeah, every single PlayStation 1 game is. So I own a hard copy of Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. I own those Black Label, right?
Yeah.
They're games that I was like, these are great games. And so most people don't know any PS3 on the market can play PS1 games. Not all of them can play PS2 games. What I don't really understand, and this is my honest opinion, is like why Sony hasn't found the way. And I'm gonna be honest with you, with the PS4 and even the PS5, why PS1 games aren't back compatible, at least digitally, some way, shape, or how.
Well, you saw, and I thought you're right, because I thought it was gonna be a means to an end when they did that
PS1
portable,
games,
right?
Yes, at least PS1 games, and you know they were doing PS2 games on the PS4 era because I went and rebought what was it, Jack and Dexter, and
Yes.
actually,
They were doing it with 1080p.
and
I
so
played that War of the Monsters, or whatever the hell that shit was.
yes, yeah, and I got a couple of PS2 games, and I'm
I
like,
beat
Sony,
it.
you can do some of these PS2 games. Why don't you just do that? I think that's cool. You know, obviously with the technology, you know, we know they can 4K. I'm not asking for ray tracing.
Yeah. Let me
I'm just
read what they
asking you to
wrote.
say, just take this game and say, okay, here's a full 4K game, and we smooth things out and put some trophies on there. I know the process isn't super easy, and I know with this whole COVID thing, it's harder. But look, create a studio where they do that. That's what they do. Hey, this whole studio's job is to go ahead and convert these PS2 games so we can play them. People can buy them in the store. Convert these PS1 games. That's just the whole studio's job. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah, I got you. But you know what? It's costly. And we can get into this whole thing because I think it goes this. But I want to read actually from the blog that, you know, actually Jim Ryan has spoken to the people. You know,
Gordon
and
Ramsay.
so Gordon Ramsay, that's why he's here. We got Gordon Ramsay on the cover art. But this is it from Jim Ryan himself. People want his head. They wanted his head on a Gordon Ramsay platter. They wanted friggin' his beef Wellington, his lobster risotto. And he actually wrote to us. And he says this. And this is what I mean. It's good optics. So this is what that's where this comes from. It shows. First, I'll read what he says. Then I'll give him my thing on it. So he says, recently we notified players that the PlayStation Store for PlayStation 3 and PS Vita devices was planned to end this summer. Upon further reflection, however, it's clear that we made the wrong decision here. So today, I'm happy to say that we will keep the PlayStation Store operational for PS3 and PS Vita devices. PSP, though, that's done on July 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously understand that. I understand that.
We are Jesus, that came out with the 360, the friggin' PSP. When we initially came to the decision to end, this is the part I want to focus on. When we initially came to the decision to end purchasing support for PS3 and PS Vita, it was born out of a number of factors, including commerce support challenges for older devices and the ability for us to focus more of our resources on newer devices where a majority of our gamers are playing on. We see now that many of you are incredibly passionate about being able to continue purchasing classic games on the PS3 and PS Vita for the foreseeable future. So this is not like a 6-month pacifier. This sounds like it's staying. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that we're able to find a solution to continue operations. I'm glad that we can keep this piece of history alive for gamers to enjoy while we continue. And this I thought this sentence was great. I thought, this is some gymnast right here, man. I'm glad that we can keep this piece of our history alive for gamers to enjoy while we continue to create cutting-edge new game worlds for PS4, PS5, and the next generation of VR. I thought that was pretty damn good. Because and I think that's where a lot of this came from. This was a history. This was people wanted access to these games. Like I even saw some pocket. Again, me personally, I don't have a PS3 anymore, or I have a Vita, which I don't play on that much. But I can
I have a Vita. I don't use it. I have my PS3, and I don't use it as much. But it was kind of cool when I wanted to go back and play some of my old games. But it goes back to the point of, like when I was talking to my wife, I said, when I do get an Xbox Series X, it will be my backward compatible systems. And I won't rely on my, PS3 to play these games. I'll just play them on my Xbox Series X, the ones I own. And it's kind of sad that it's like that, but it's just like, well, PlayStation's not going to do it. And Xbox is, which that's a whole nother,
that's where I think a lot of this stemmed from, Frogs. I think a lot of this had to do with not only the outcry from a lot of the people on social media, but I think that this is more for an optics. And remember, Sony had some bad optics the last couple of weeks. Because I see, what's up, Cyber Dragon? How you doing, man? Garuda, what's up, man? I haven't seen Garuda for a while. What's up, man? How you doing? But
really bad optics.
Bad optics. They had some bad PR, Cyber and Garuda. Cyber's bringing it up. He's like, there's no need. The numbers show it's a waste of time and money. And you know what? I think they know that because they wouldn't even talk about shutting this down if they didn't see.
I do think it is no need. But what I'm saying, if there's no need, you gotta have an
alternative play.
You gotta say, okay, look, we're gonna close the store, but hey,
it's coming to PlayStation Now or something,
or we're yeah, we're adding a lot of these games to PlayStation now. Or hey, you'll be able to play some of your favorite PS2 and PS1 classics. Like somebody said in the chat, hey, this wise is because it can't. Yeah, the PS5 can read. It can't read CDs, but it can technically read the PS1 and PS2 games, even though one was CD based and one was DVD based. It can read those. It's a disc player. It can read that. They
Yeah.
just don't allow it. So it's not that it can't read it. They just don't allow it. Sony's kind of, like Nintendo in a way. Is they're very the mentality of thinking and the way they do things, and they didn't used
Nintendo
to be
shuts
like
their
that.
shit down crazy. Like that Wii
Yeah,
store is
Nintendo,
shut, right?
and that's what it was a point I was talking to somebody about, and I said, Nintendo doesn't care about backward compatibility. So when you look at most of the community, it kind of seems like that. Sony
They
used to
live
care
off
about it, and
nostalgia,
then they
Frog.
said
Nintendo
screw it.
lives off that nostalgia.
Yeah, yeah, and what does Nintendo do? They release the same mother effing thing,
Yeah, you've
and we
been
buy
grant.
it. So there again, it's just like I just kind of wish that Sony would say, you know what? Hey, we have some great PS1 titles. We need to go ahead and revisit. Let's remake these from the ground up. Let's give Legend of Dragoon to a studio. The same studio that makes Demon Souls. Hey, you guys get to make this from the ground up. That game would sell. That game would sell hands down.
Of
Let's
course.
take some of the titles that they own, the IPs they own, and re-freaking make them from the ground up. Because let me tell you, like my son and my they're older, my son and my daughter and my sons. But what I'm saying is like my 18-year-old son never really knew anything about PS1. So like
Hmm.
if he has the he has PS5 in the house, he's like, what's this Legend of the Dragoon remake? He's like, I never heard of this. Well, son, it was a PS1 game. What's this, this Soul Reaver game? I've never heard of this. Well, this is a game that was in the PlayStation. There's a lot of
Yes.
games
Yeah.
they could go back and they could attack, and I think they could remake. And look, I'm not opposed to remakes, remasters. I'm not even opposed to them, right? But if you're gonna do it, I think do it right or don't do it at all. Like
Exactly.
I'm hoping Mass Effect comes out well. I'm hoping Ninja Gaiden comes out well,
Hmm.
because those are two franchises that I do love, and maybe it'll spawn another game from that. Obviously another
That's what
Mass
I
Effect,
always
that kind
hoped. Like, see, that's the
but
thing,
but
Frog. Like, I
but
always hope that backwards
but
compatibility, like getting that. Yeah, sorry.
Right, but there again, we look at game companies and studios, we look at what Sony's doing. It's like Sony is more or less not into a sequel, in my opinion, unless it hits a certain Metacritic number or unless it hits a certain sale. Because
Yeah.
look at Days Gone, I thought was
Sony
definitely a
Mania,
given.
man. You're bringing up
Yeah,
Sony
I
Mania last
thought
week. Yep.
Days Gone was a given. They would do it. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to let these guys make their own original IP. Okay,
Oh.
granted, I'm happy about that, but why not do a Days Gone 2? Like that.
Mm.
That was just you put a platform out there just to set a tempo. And the way it's sorry for people who haven't played it. The way that game ended,
Oh, don't
you
tell me how it
made
ended. I'm back playing it again. I gotta
okay.
finish it.
It's
Don't
it.
tell.
Let me just tell you,
I just
there
know it
is
ended
room
on a
for
cliffhanger.
it ended on a cliffhanger. There's room for a big sequel. And look, if you just felt like this studio can do it, give it to Naughty Dog. We know Naughty
Nah.
Dog can do it.
This
Oh,
is what
Naughty
I.
Dog does.
Okay.
But you can't. But there again, like I was gonna say, give it to Naughty Dog, right? But then I'm kind of put my foot in my mouth because I think Sony's biggest problem is they do every Naughty Dog this, Naughty Dog that, Naughty Dog this. I'm like Sony Santa Monica this, Santa Monica that. I'm like, you gotta how you get your studios that you gotta let your studios do these things, and like Nintendo and like some people from the past said, yeah, they're not always gonna sell, but the ones that are big and they come out there. Days Gone was pretty well received, even though
Yeah.
the reviews were whatever. It was pretty well received. That game deserves a sequel.
But
Don't
they.
tell me about
But see,
don't
Frog. This
piss
is
me
the.
off. Don't piss me off as a consumer and tell me you're gonna remake The Last of Us Part One. I don't want that bullshit. I don't want
Mm.
that shit. You already did a remaster on the PS4. I don't want a Last of Us freaking one. And you know why they're gonna do it? I'm gonna tell you why they're probably gonna do it because they got a TV show coming on the HBO, and they're like, oh crap, we can just remake The Last of Us One to commemorate this TV show. They did the same thing with Ratchet and Clank in the movie. The only reason the
Yes.
Ratchet and Clank movie came out, or Ratchet and Clank game came out, because the movie Sony
Yo,
needed to
that's a
stop.
huge. Yeah, you're right. That's the reason why.
They
And they
do
never
that
did the
all the
other Ratchet and
time.
Clanks. They only did the first
Yes.
one because of the
They
movie.
only did the first one, and dude, there's like 7 or 8 Ratchet and Clank games. And I'm like,
Yes,
you
they never
only
even did any of the other
I
ones.
don't
You're right.
understand. They do this all the time. Sony is really one thing I can say Sony is bad for. Sony will take a franchise and they'll make like 3 or 4 games in it, and then they'll be like, done. Sly Cooper has like what 4 games in it. Freaking Resistance has 3 games. That franchise is dead. Sly Cooper, as far as I'm concerned, is dead. The Infamous franchise, they made a total of 5 games, and that franchise is dead. It's like we only got 2 on the PS4. The other 3 are stuck on the PlayStation 3. You could have remastered or remade those. I don't understand what Sony's mind frame is now. Look, I'm hoping we don't have cocky Sony back again because I dealt with cocky Sony all the PS3 generation, and I can tell you, I definitely was playing on 360 more. If it wasn't for Red Ring of Death, I would have probably went from 360 right to Xbox One. That's the only reason I went to PS4 is because Red Ring of Death kept pissing me off, and I was like, I don't trust Microsoft's hardware. But Sony, they got to get out that mind frame of doing certain things certain ways, and they got to listen to their audience. Okay, obviously they listen to people talk about, hey, we don't want this store to close down, and I do believe this store will close down in the next 2 years.
Oh yeah,
I think this is just
this is. Well, I told you it was bad PR for the last. I said no. It was funny. It was like you're talking about the Days Gone 2 thing. I was funny. It's like, okay, Sony does this one today, and watch tomorrow to go. And we want to let you know that we're in really early pre-production of Days Gone 2. And like that would like erase like the last 2 weeks and negative stuff. But you're right. It was just this. That's why this move right here, I really don't think that they think like the PlayStation 3 games are going to NPD next month or anything like that. No. This is just goodwill and also to kind of remove a blemish and a narrative that was building in the media and building over the thing. They had to squash it.
You know what, Jez? They squashed it until E3 comes, and they show us all this great stuff coming, and we'll forget about it, and next year they'll close the store down.
And nobody will blink an eye.
Exactly. Nobody will care, because then we'll be playing God of War and the next Horizon. We'll care less about this.
Exactly.
Shit,
this
right?
came out at a wrong. Like I said, it's dry. It's been so dry with gaming. We have people complaining. Microsoft even tried to double Xbox Live in February.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
this stuff is all this bullshit is coming to the top because we don't have a lot of games going on both sides. You know, Sony's now ramping up in the next couple of months, but like
I would say, you know,
there's not much.
Returnal better deliver.
It's gonna be man. I didn't need a demo. It needs a demo.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know, and once again, not to speak like ill will about the Xbox side. I don't know what I want to play on Xbox right now. This exclusive. There really hasn't been anything.
There's not. There's nothing. There's nothing exclusive.
All I can say is I need my Halo Infinite. That game better deliver because I am going to technically and totally say right here in this podcast, fuck Call of Duty this year if it's World War II.
I know, man. I
will not be buying. I buy Call of Duty every year. This will be the first year.
I'm not doing Call of Duty.
Fuck Call of Duty. Fuck Call of Duty. If it's a World War II game, I'm not playing that trash.
I'm not going back to World War II.
I will be Halo. That's why I need.
That's free to play multiplayer.
I'm gonna tell you like this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I need Microsoft to deliver. I need Sony to kick ass. I need everybody on all cylinders, man.
Yeah.
Because what I'm going to tell you, and this was, and mark my words, I'm saying this right here. It's April, right?
Yep.
Between the end of April, we're getting Returnal. Between April, May, and June, there are going to be a lot of games releasing, and we're not going to be in a drought. Look, I looked at the games that are coming out in May. There's too many games coming out in May. There's too many games coming out in June. Some games are not going to sell well. If you go look at this list of games that are coming out in May and June, there's no way you could buy every game. That like right now, there's like, I got money to burn, and there's nothing I want to burn. $400? Yeah, you're not gonna have any money in May and June. You got Biomutant. That
game. Yeah, you're right.
You got freaking Ninja Gaiden remake, remastered, or you got. Dude, there's so many games that are coming. There's new IPs and there's remakes and remasters. There's just too many games. Resident Evil, and I'm just looking like, yo, I'm buying onesies and twosies. And unfortunately, I'm gonna stick with Returnal because it's new IP. I want to see what's up with it. Resident Evil Village, like I played it. It's whatever. Like that's something I know in my heart of hearts it will do well as far as sales. I think it'll score well. But that game will be dirt cheap in 2 months because there'll be so many on the shelf. That's why, like games like Resident Evil, I'm like, yeah.
Did you play the demo Saturday?
Yeah. I think it's a good game.
I missed the goddamn demo.
But guess what? I'm gonna buy it when it's $29.99. You know
oh damn!
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh man, you're going against that dude. Where is he? You heard him?
I'm gonna tell you like.
I gotta get him.
Anything.
Frog's going in, man. Frog's going in.
Anything that EA comes out with. And anything that's a big major game that doesn't have a serious super attached multiplayer component like a Call of Duty, I'm buying that shit 3 months later because it'll be dirt cheap. I might not even buy it until the end of the year. I might not even buy it.
Whoa.
And I'm going to tell you why. Resident Evil is a game, and I'm going to tell you why. Resident Evil is a game that I know it's going to generate a lot of talk, there's a lot of talent put into it. It looks good. It's going to deliver. But that game is going to be in like 3 months from now, 2 months from now, that game is going to be $29.99. By the end of the year, I'm just sitting there. All these games that are coming out, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. From May and June, don't even buy anything. Don't even buy anything. And I'm gonna tell you, don't buy anything because you got May and June, and then by the time all these wraps around, they come out their next Madden. Start buying your games in September, October, November that came out in May and June. Biomutant is a game I've been waiting on for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time for that, man.
I'm gonna get that game when it's $19.99. I am. There's a lot of games I look at and I'm like, damn, there's a lot of games I want to play. And I think these developers are like, let's put them in May and June because of E3 time frame. And I saw somebody in the chat say, I'm complaining to be complaining. No, I'm not complaining to be complaining. What I'm saying is we never really got games like that in May and June. And now this year they're just.
But like, you don't want to play. You don't want to get Resident Evil when it comes out. You're gonna wait.
No, I'm gonna wait. I've stayed away from the internet long enough to wait. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Like, am I gonna get it? Yes, but I think I'm more interested in Returnal than I am Resident Evil. Yeah. Resident Evil to me is taking a fall since. I'll honestly say like.
Oh, so you didn't like 7? See, I really liked 7, man. I thought 7 was friggin' awesome.
I think 7 is cool, but I really wasn't into it. When they remade 2, I jumped for joy. I went out and bought it.
Yeah, but then 3 was a shit show.
Yeah, 3 was a shit show, and I got that when it was $19.
And that,
but it was still. But don't get me wrong, it was still a good game, but it shouldn't have been as much as it was when it came out. That game should have been $39 when it came out. So don't get me wrong. I honestly I want a remake of 4. Like, I'll take a remake of 4 over this new Resident Evil Village. Now, I'm not saying I don't want the games to progressively go on and make new IPs.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like, damn, this Resident Evil Village, it just doesn't feel like Resident Evil 7 didn't feel like Resident Evil.
You know what? This is the thing. So, shout out to Neil. He hooked up Mooch with Resident Evil 8. Yo, that's awesome, man. DeFloyd, what's up? 7 was badass, he says. Yo, hit that like button, everybody.
It's. I'm not saying it's not good. It's just. I'm an old school type of guy, and Resident Evil 7 just was such a different game.
Different.
It was very different, and I was like, this wasn't what I expected.
This is the thing.
It just wasn't. It wasn't. You know how like you get a game and you have an expectation of a franchise, and you get like I'm gonna tell you like I played all the Devil May Cries, right? Except for part. Which one was it? Was it DMC 4?
So you don't like the first person thing of Resident Evil. Like, that kind of doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I'm not big into the first person.
So this is the thing. Game. Like the one thing, but see, I am picking exactly. I do feel something similar here with the Village. I watched now again. I played the demo. Yeah. I think it looks
first
awesome.
person whole view. I'm not.
See,
really
I like it. I know what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Condemned. And those kind of games
that was a good game.
And I kind of like that. So I like the spin on Resident Evil. I like that they're not dealing with zombies anymore. It's kind of like these weird-ass stuff going on. But now this one seems to be more Lycans and vampires and stuff like that. Almost like Underworld type stuff.
And you know what I think, Jez? I think it's the new era of Resident Evil players that really in love with this. Guys like my son who's 18. This is his Resident Evil. This is not really my kind of because he played part 2 and he was like, this is trash, and I was like, son, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I know Resident Evil. So it evolved,
but he's really in a first person shooter, so I think they went for the market of people today. So I can't honestly, when I sit here and look at it, it may not be my Resident Evil, but it's somebody's Resident Evil. And like I say, I'm an older gamer and I have a different taste for gaming.
Yeah, see, me too, but I like this Resident Evil.
This to me is cool. It's cool, but I just don't. I'm not really jumping. Like, I'm not super excited to buy it. Like, I'm like, I'll get it when I get it. You know? Like, I'm more excited about the Mass Effect trilogy coming out.
Oh, no. That is blasphemy. The trilogy, man, only Mass Effect 2 is worth it.
Yeah, well, look, let's be honest. If we're honest, most of the time the second games or sequels are
The
the
Mass
best
Effect
games.
2 was incredible. That's the only
Yeah,
game
Mass
that I would
Effect
want
2
to go
is
back and play. I don't want to go back and
Mass
play
Effect 2 is
1.
incredible. Yeah,
And 3 was a EA
but
shooter, and that
was
wasn't. 2 was the best.
it's the same with Gears. It's like Gears of War 2 is the best one. I mean, if we really think about like the sequels, most games their sequels is either the 2 or the third one is the best. Uncharted 2 is the best Uncharted, you know?
Yeah.
So it just really depends on what we're kind of
Well,
judging.
this is the thing, but I want to get into the Village stuff. So, like, I didn't play the demo of it, but I've been watching the trailer of it. Not too much. The one thing that I don't care for Resident Evil so far right now is that I don't like everybody simping for the goddamn vampirus or whatever the hell that is. I think that is.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand it either. I think, I think it's funny. It's a funny internet meme. I laugh at the memes and stuff. But I do think that there's relying too much hype on this giant woman in this game and her friggin' hocus pocus staff.
Somebody said Underworld would make a good game.
Oh yeah, well that's why I got the
make a good
feel
game.
when he's like Lycans join. I was like, oh shit!
Yeah.
I'm like, this is gonna be like Underworld. But the thing is with this game is that I thought, and this is so far again, I want more. I thought when they said Village, I thought this was going to be a little bit more open, and maybe it is. But I don't want to be in another building, another mansion with addendum, all the stuff, and go out into the yard and all. I want
How are they going
this
to
is
connect
Village.
this to Resident? Because they got Chris in here. I'm like, how does this all connect? Like, I guess for me, I don't understand. I'm in the connection. I don't understand how this all connects.
I thought it'll
I
be
don't.
like the next level will be more outdoor stuff. So hopefully there is more outdoor stuff and more bigger set pieces because I felt like Resident Evil 7 was definitely more confined, more like, intense because you're in the tight hallways and you're in this house and trying to figure out what the hell's going on in this house. And I know it mirrored the first Resident Evil. Whereas your first Resident Evil, you were just in the mansion and all the different wings, and then the second one, you were out in the streets. So I'm hoping this one is akin to Resident Evil 2, where we're more out and about in the streets, in the village, quote unquote. So that's what I'm hoping, and that's where and so far, I've just been seeing, and from that first demo, walking around the mansion with the giant woman chasing me and saying, "Get over here, little man." And everybody's like, "Catch me, please!" Like they're not scary looking. Like I like you want to get caught to watch her bite you and suck your blood. Like these people are all simping like that shit. And I'm just like, I want something that's gonna rip me apart. And like I'm like, oh no, stay away from me. Like I don't want this lady that's all like bosomed out and just kind of chasing me around. I'm like, and she like ducks on the. Like,
That's why I said that Resident Evil 4 was scary as hell.
Yeah, you don't want to touch Nemesis. He was like, get away from me. Holy
you
shit.
see a guy with a burlap bag on his head walking with a chainsaw. You're like, oh shit, this is crazy.
Who's this jiggity poker? He says some of us have giant fetishes and are in love.
Nah, man, I'm good. I don't need that.
Dude, it's
That's
real.
weird.
Whatever your name is.
It's real. I know,
Big
man.
surprise.
I know,
Resident Evil's gonna be a
Jiggy.
great
Jiggy
game.
is.
But
Oh,
I don't
man.
understand the obsession.
You're my number one customer.
Lady with she has like these big claws or something like that.
No, she spawns a big claw, and then she like slices you, and then the other one's all like hot and like the other blonde witch and stuff like chases you around like she's like the one from Hocus Pocus, and she's like she bites. Like I'm just like, why? Like these people should not be attractive or fit into any fetishes like jiggery, whatever. But like the thing, like these things should be like come on, it's horror, man. Like maybe she transforms. I don't know. But the thing, and maybe her final form is like, she's like this horrible thing.
You know what I was gonna say? This is kind of dealing with not it's women, but it's not dealing directly with Resident Evil. And I know this is kind of off topic. Why does IGN seem to not be able to keep any women they hire?
Yo, I saw that. So Sidney Goodman's leaving.
Dude, IGN, ever since that whole what's that girl's name? Not Alana Pierce, the other one before her. Not Naomi Kyle, the one before her. The very first one. Dude, she was in Mass Effect 2 to tide us all around. All I know is not Naomi Kyle. It was Naomi Kyle, then it was Lana Pierce, then it was the very first girl. I can't remember her name right offhand, but what I'll say is
Jessica Chobot.
Jessica Chobot, that's it.
The Chobot.
After Jessica Chobot, they can't keep anybody after because all their sexual harassment claims.
Dude.
I heard that Marty Sleever or whatever his name was, he was a pervert, and a lot of guys. All I know is IGN can't keep any women.
Frog TMZ.
Like every time, because you remember when they got the girl now that's leaving. She was like wearing all these shirts and kind of showing, and then people kept complaining about it. They were like, "Yo, you don't have to show your body to like give the news." And then she started covering up and she was really uncomfortable about that. And I was like, "Look, come on now,
Hey,
they can't keep a woman to save it." Man, something's going on IGN. That's all I'm saying.
It's just also too. I think
Me Too. They're gonna have a Me Too.
a Me Too IGN style. I think also too that a lot of them build up. They use it as a kickoff thing. Like I do think like
and they go to other places.
Yeah, like they kick off and then they kind of get they use their social media to get there. Then they get into IGN and then they kind of jump start from there. And then they kind of feel like they've been on their own because first off, I'm gonna tell you one thing, and we've seen this. And funny, well, the next topic, if we go off the Resident Evil 8, is the media horse shit that's going on with Jason Schreier, and then you look at IGN, and then you look at these articles coming out. So I got another article. Here, watch this, guys. We got another one. Frog, so I put this in the chat.
Somebody said the G in IGN doesn't stand for girls.
It stands for giggity. Goddamn. Oh wait, I gotta wait a second before we move from IGN. I got an excellent sound clip right here. Here it is.
I'm not a pervert.
Wait,
I'm not a pervert.
this is what they have at IGN. This is what they as the girls they're losing their staff.
I'm not a pervert.
Hit that like button, Arnold. I'm not the pervert.
I'm not a pervert.
Giggity. Oh my God,
man!
It's turbo time.
Ooh.
I'm not a
Keep
pervert.
the person say this.
It's turbo time. I'm not a pervert.
It's getting late.
I'm not a pervert.
I've yet to see a sign of this supposed Devilman doll.
You're my #1 customer.
Arnold's going wild in the chat. Arnold!
You heard me right. Con men, thieves, degenerates,
It's turbo
lowlifes,
time.
thugs, criminals.
I'm not a pervert. All right. Oh, they're going wild. Arnold just went wild, man. I don't know what happened. Arnold took over the show. He was going crazy. But anyway, speaking about the media stuff, so I put this stuff in the chat. So, like, we're talking about this media stuff, and this is the thing. IGN, do some goddamn interviews. David Jaffe's, like, doing your job right now. Like, he went after Jason. He got some devs, and, like, they kind of counted some of Jason Schreier shit. Then Jason whined, and then he's like, wah, and then they're like, wah, and then he's like, bitch, and he's like, wah, and then he said, bitch, and he went on the podcast, and he's like, wah, it's getting blown out of proportion. Anyway, Dave Jaffe says, bitch, and then Jason Schreier says, wah. The thing is that we got another article. Check this shit out. This is where media's going. And Frank, I sent this to I sent it to these guys. Wait, I sent it here. So I put this. Hold on, is this what I have here? Twitter bullshit and 4 screenshots. Here we go. Get ready. Wait, I got this one. Let's see if I have it. Or I could go. Can I go left or right with this? No, I can't. Okay. So we had this first article, right? Wait a second. Let me show this. So this is the media nowadays, right? This is what we got. What did Garuda say? Then I am a simp. She's one tall glass of tea. Oh, shit. Yo, I'm triggering people right now about this freaking Resident Evil. Don't touch it. It's a sensitive subject. Oh, shit. Yay. To each his own. You want to get caught up with the girl and then, and then let her friggin' slice you in half. Hey, man.
I'm okay.
Put the ball in your mouth. Strap the dick on. Get strap-ons to your controllers. Play some streaming. I don't know. I don't know.
Strap one.
Get those strap-ons.
Oh, my God.
But anyway, so this is the media talking about ignorance, right? We got this.
God. This article,
dude.
This article's so stupid.
Wait, watch.
So stupid.
Watch this. 4 pictures. Here we go. Ready? I'm sick of it. Damn it, I'm sick of it.
Bullshit.
All right, so look at the name. Adam Vajiska. Here he is. Ready? So he wrote, greatness awaits for the payers. I'm sick of it. Cheap-ass gaming for the win. Anyway, so he wrote this a day ago, right? Just get ready. Yeah, they're still simping in the chat. Then Greenberg, the man of ethics and no capping for what what they said, friggin'
I'm so sick of
what
it,
is
too.
it? The friggin' what does Phil Spencer use? What horde mentality or the friggin' what that tribalism?
Mm-hmm.
If you could get past the headline, this story does a good job capturing our unique approach to putting gamers first and the value you get
my
with Game
God.
Pass and Xbox ecosystem.
I read that. Yeah, go suck a dick. Let me tell you
Yes.
something. Bottom line, go suck a dick. And this is what I feel. This is my personal feeling. I do feel, looking at Game Pass and the moves it's making, it's a good value for people who are primarily on Xbox, right? But I don't think it's something that's going to just say, oh, God, I have a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 5.
Drop
I'm going
it.
to drop my whole library
Yeah.
and I'm just going to jump on that platform. I think Xbox Game Pass is a good value for Xbox game players. I think if you own an Xbox system, that's your primary place to play, you better have Game Pass. That's what I personally think. Now, on the flip side, if you primarily play on PlayStation, you're not going to drop your PlayStation and jump. It's not going to make. I think that Game Pass, what it does is good for the audience that's over there, but it's not going to move the needles and make more consoles sell and make them become the bigger freaking overall.
Exactly.
I do think that if it starts to get like that, you'll see Sony do something like a Game Pass, which I don't think they need it right now, but I think that maybe they could do it. So I believe that every console has something for everybody, right?
Yes.
I believe if I was on Xbox, I definitely would have Game Pass, right? Having a PlayStation is my primary system. I'm content and happy because I have a huge library of games I can only get there that are pretty good, that I still haven't beat. So my whole thing is like, Angry Bird, go suck a dick, I just don't get it, man.
You're my
I don't
number
get
one
these guys.
customer.
I've gotten to the point with the whole console war bullshit. I'm like, look, right now, in my personal opinion, and in April, nobody's freaking winning. Even though Sony's PlayStation 5 is selling, the consumer's not winning because we can't even go to a store and buy the damn console.
I know, man.
You know how many?
It's wild.
You know how many people? I'm gonna tell you. You know how many people I know want a PlayStation, a PS5 or
Dude, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about how that thing sold. But wait, this is picture number 2, Frog, of the story. So Greenberg saying, get by the title and by the headline, and it's good. The thing is like, yeah, you put the ecosystem and Game Pass, like you said, it's great for what it's doing. They made some good moves with Outriders and good move with MLB. We'll talk about MLB as well. But the thing is putting gamers first without releasing any kind of relevant games in the last 2 or 3 years and beyond
Exactly.
that. And we don't even know when Halo's coming. You showed Halo became a joke.
3 years from
How are you
from
putting
now, Game
gamers
Pass-
first without games? That's
3
what I
years from now,
understand.
Game Pass 3 years
Without
from now
relevant
would be
games.
amazing.
How you put
But
gamers
right
first?
now-
Slap in the face.
But right now, Game Pass is the best value for what Xbox can do at their best. That's it. But let's be real. You got fucking Broke Riders in your Game Pass, and you got MLB in your Game Pass. But where's your new fucking IPs? Not indie bullshit. Where are your new IPs?
Wait, years, Frog. They said 2 to 3 years they're coming out. Greenberg's gonna have to pull the cart by the balls.
3 years from now,
next 3 years.
Game Pass will be what you definitely want to have on an Xbox. But I do have
Game's overrated. Captain Crunch said game's overrated.
There's some great
to
things
them
about
they
Game
are.
Pass, but there aren't.
Games?
Man.
What do you mean
Game
games?
Game
We
Pass
put
can
gamers
kinda screw
first.
you over. Think about this. If you got the Halo, think about when you had the Master Chief Collection day one, the broken ass Master Chief Collection, and they finally got around to fixing it, and they finally announced, "Oh, Halo Reach is coming to Master Chief's Collection." Oh, but those people who don't have Game Pass and you only have the Master Chief Collection, you can only play the multiplayer. You can't get the single player story. You got to buy that separately. So this is something I can kind of see them. It could be kind of a catch-22 because I had to go buy freaking Halo Reach just to have the whole game. And I was like, damn, I'm not subscribing to Game Pass just to play the whole thing. I'd rather just spend the $10 or $20 on it and have the game than subscribe to a service. I have Game Pass now. I do think, once again, I think it's an amazing system, a service.
It has potential. with
But
everything.
when I look at
But it needs their
articles like
games.
this, when I look at articles like this, who wrote this?
Wait, we're not done. Wait.
Go ahead.
So you saw who
me
wrote it. You saw, right? Greenberg does this. Now watch. Picture number 3. I give you a picture number 3, right? Put gamers first without games. Yeah, let's hype that shit up, fucking ass. Go put your Oreo costume on, you son of a bitch. But here we go. Here's the guy who wrote the article. Hey, what's up, Adam? He works for Tech Radar. Look who follows him. Followed by Xbox support and Aaron Greenberg.
Oh, I get it now. My bad. They do suck dicks.
Oh man, he got 2 dicks.
He got two.
One in the mouth, one in the
Let me
ass.
tell you something.
He got two.
They're upstairs at that roof party top with that glory hole in the bathroom on the second floor.
It gets
That's
better.
what they all are doing.
Phil, the Phil Spencer glory hole is deeper than this. Watch the last picture. Only 9 months ago, the same guy wrote an article saying the Xbox Series X is already better value than the PS5. Here's why. 9 months ago.
So why write the same article again? And
He
one,
wrote-
is it clickbait? Is it to fuel fan
Yes.
wars? Yeah, it's clickbait. Like, come on, dude, be a good.
How do I know
journalist.
this is not some
Write
kind of a
write
scam?
something interesting. We already know that Game Pass is a great value for Xbox players, but for you to write something, I mean, I don't get it, man.
This
I
is
don't
the
get it.
media
I don't get
nowadays,
it.
man. And that's the
It's
thing.
dumb.
Over the last 2 weeks, Sony hasn't said anything, has done a couple of fucking things that pissed off some of the PlayStation community who spoke up and complained and, and made a little thing. But then everybody was trying to jump on it going, this is it. Because I'd said this before. The Xbox camp don't give a fuck about games. They don't give a fuck about Game Pass. They don't give a fuck about PC. They don't give a fuck about... All they want is that E3 moment of this is how you share games and the outrage and turning point on PlayStation that happened to Xbox. It was expected. Frog, wait a second. It's been expected. It's been expected since the beginning of this generation because by history, the incumbent of the last generation automatically fucks up, and then it allows the other one, who would be Xbox in this position, to gain the advantage. So in the Xbox OG with the PlayStation 2, Sony messed up with giant enemy crabs and not having games overpriced.
Yes.
And Microsoft took the advantage. Then Microsoft made a botch with DRM and not and talking about TV and not focusing on the game aspect but everything else. Meanwhile, they had the games. Sony took advantage of that and Sony did it. So by assumption, the fans of Xbox thought this is Sony's chance to mess up and now Xbox will regain claim. So that's why any little thing.
It's not happening.
I'm not even going to talk about the fucking battery CMOS bullshit, which was
Let me tell you
declined.
something. I saw that, and it's
Dude,
a crock full of shit. Let me tell you something about
anything.
There's something
They're looking
wrong
for
with
that
people
moment.
Nowadays. Let me tell you, Jazz. There's something
It's
wrong with
horrible.
people. All this fucking cancel culture and whine and complain about this. Bitches need to shut up. Like I get so tired of hearing gamers whine and complain. You're complaining about a battery in a PS3. It only lasts for 20 years. What are we gonna do for 20 years?
And then they
What
try
the
running
fuck
with
are you
that shit.
complaining about? I don't get it. You know the Nintendo games, all NES games have batteries in them. They still fucking work.
Yes,
I
the
don't
cartridges.
fucking get- So where's the freaking? Oh my gosh, we need to fix this NES. I don't get people nowadays where you're mad about a little battery in a PS3. Get the fuck.
Well,
out
no,
of here.
the thing is that they weren't mad about the battery. They were mad about that PlayStation 3 had the battery issue, and the PlayStation 4 had the battery issue, and the PlayStation 5 also has it. Then they ran with it. But then and Colt Eastwood was number
Jazz, let me
one,
ask you a
the
question.
C-bomb. What the hell they call it?
Jazz. Did we hear about any batteries last generation? With the
No.
PS4? Any of-
But the Frog,
No.
do you understand? It goes back to the initial statement that I said. The thing is that one had it, and they thought the Xbox had it baked in, so the Xbox is not relying on a battery where the PlayStation is, so therefore the PlayStation messed up and Xbox could win. That was the reason why.
The
And then when
fuck outta
Colt
here.
Eastwood and fans try to go run with it, does it play, who is in charge of this whole longevity for generations upon generations, says Sony's unhappy. They basically go,
shout out to Captain Crunch.
Dude, they say the same
One
thing.
Can't even function without the internet.
Exactly. And they came out and said that, and this whole thing got squashed.
Oh my god.
And the whole thing got squashed.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you like this. I've gotten to the point just looking at, and I've been looking at.
It's ridiculous. This whole thing is stupid
on
both sides.
On both sides, between PlayStation camp, Xbox camp, Nintendo, they all are doing something different. I realize that.
Yes.
I don't like a lot of things that Microsoft are doing with the Xbox brand because I do like the Xbox brand. And then, with PlayStation, with them doing certain things, it's been pissing me off. Nintendo does things that piss me off. They all do something to piss me off. It just so happened that when I complain a lot, it's been about Microsoft in the past because I'm like, how far have you fallen from grace from the 360? And you like, look, Microsoft has not. I can tell you what Microsoft hasn't done right for the last almost 12 years. They haven't been able to name a console right. You went from the Xbox One to the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S. You fucking dumbasses. Like, you can't name a console. How can you not name a console? The same with these gaming companies. Battlefield 1. I'm like, wait, how do you name a game Battlefield 1?
Oh, trust me.
Like, you see what I'm saying?
Shit's
Like,
all over the place. But the thing is like, they try to run and go, this place, Microsoft, because the narrative of the Microsoft is that they believe in longevity of games. Backwards
Shout out to Buddy
compatibility.
Cactus. Shout out to Buddy Cactus. I had Nintendo Game Boy games, 30 years old, and the battery's still working. Thank you, Buddy Cactus.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dude, you see what I'm saying? Like,
here it is.
This isn't a problem.
It's the same thing.
This isn't a problem. This battery shit isn't a problem.
It's DRM.
I don't understand what people's
They all
problems are.
have
Like,
it.
oh my god. They all, dude, Nintendo's had batteries in their games and consoles.
And even Microsoft doesn't have a battery that you can replace. It's baked in. So when it dies on Xbox, you still gotta you can't manually fix it. Yeah. But who cares? Like, the thing is that this battery shit was so stupid. The only reason why it existed is because this Twitter handle, Does It Play, came out with the PlayStation concerns first in the PlayStation 4 and said, hey, the PlayStation 5 has it. And everybody ran going, again, Sony doesn't believe. And they try to pivot this with the shutting down of the stores, with their focus on AAA. Sony doesn't believe in old games and generations and all this other stuff.
Yes.
They want to kill the history.
You want me to tell you something, Jazz? You want me to tell you
and
something?
then Xbox does the same thing.
This is what I don't get. People are focused on creating story like this.
It's just horseshit.
This idiot talking about, oh, Xbox is better. Why don't we talk about how motherfucking devs like and Outriders and Azure servers and how that game is so fucking broken you can't play it. And we should be
Touch
fucking
a Game Pass
fisting their fucking assholes. We should be fisting their fucking ass because they're not fucking giving us games that work right day one.
Yeah.
Why are we fucking talking about developers fucking doing wrong? They keep fucking doing this shit. No, the consumer should fucking think a fist and shove a fist up their ass and say, you know what? I'm not supporting no more of your fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
There's so many things that have happened within gaming. I don't give a fuck about these consoles if the game doesn't work. I bought Outriders day one and I could barely play. I just beat the game. The game is fucking broken. It's so fucking unstable. It's to the point where I'm like, yo, this is another fucking Anthem. That's what it feels like to me. It's another fucking Anthem. The only thing is, it's actually somewhat better. But I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, this game has so much potential. How'd you fuck it up? That's why when I'm sitting there, look, like I told you, I've been beating games left and right. I've been beating games left and right because I have a plethora of games to play. But when I go back and play some of these games, I'm like, damn, this is great. Some of the games I've beaten, I'm like, okay, this was a long time coming. Like the friggin' Ratchet and Clank game I beat just recently. That was a long time coming. I could have been beat that game, but I put it down for something else. But my whole point is, when you see something like, and I know Ratchet and Clank is a different game than Outriders, right? But my whole point is,
you don't like that's tied to the servers.
It's not even that, Jazz, because I played Destiny 2, and I think Destiny 2 is really good. Destiny, we all know, this certain companies have a lot of money to do certain things, Bungie. But I'm looking at Destiny, and I'm like, okay, Outriders could be the next big thing. And I'm like, man, I was super excited about Outriders, and I got them, and I'm like, yo, this game is fun. I'm having fun, but here's the problem, and I'm gonna tell you what it is, Jazz, and I'm gonna tell you 110%. My main problem with Outriders is I have a PS5. The people I'm playing with have PS4s. 9 times out of 10, it takes for fucking ever to get into a game because I'm playing with people, PS4 people, right?
Really?
My buddy that has a PS5 that has it, and my buddy has an Xbox Series X. We play it, bam, we're in. No load screens, bam, we're in. No crashes, bam, we're in. When I play with a PS4 player or an Xbox player, crash, crash, crash. Then I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna take crossplay off. Take crossplay off. I'm thinking it's gonna make it better. No, fucking same thing. The game has a problem with it. It's a server problem baked into that game. It's the problem. I don't know if it's Azure servers or what it is. All I'm saying is when Square, people can fly, whoever, Azure servers, whatever, there's some fuck shit going on with that game, and I deleted it. Once I get through the story, I deleted it. I was like, yeah,
I never played it because I don't like the demo. They look like generic Gears of War. That's why I don't want to play it.
Okay. Is it a generic Gears of War? Yes,
yeah,
it is. But I kind of my feeling is that game didn't have to always be online. Any game you look at that's always online,
and they said it wasn't a service game too. On top of it, they were like, "This is not a service
why
game."
Does it always need to be online? You know their reason for it always being online. They said, "Oh, the reason that we're always online, they don't want people to cheat and go get epic weapons and build their characters."
But it's a PvE game. Who gives a shit?
I'm like, exactly. It's a PvE game. Why the fuck do you care?
Cares?
Like,
there's no competitive advantage when you're fighting against bots.
And that's why. I still play Destiny 2. You see what I'm saying? I still play Destiny 2. I'm like, Destiny.
They all want to be Destiny. Like, they want to be Destiny because Destiny got the balance,
everybody wants to be Destiny. I'm going to put it out there. Division wants to be Destiny, which
everybody wants that Destiny money.
And I don't have anything against Division other than I think Division 2, it wasn't what I expected. But what I'll say is, like, everybody wants to be a Destiny type game. Don't be surprised if Halo comes out and it's kind of like a Destiny.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Game.
Yo, shout out to the Coon 185. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, shit. We got, what was the other game? Me, you, and somebody else played it, and we liked it, but it was really repetitive, and I deleted it, but I just downloaded it again. I went back. It
wasn't
Godfall.
Yes, well, I beat Godfall. There was nothing after that. I had no intent to play that game after I beat it.
Guess what? The problem with Godfall, once again, servers were fucking trash.
Yes, the servers in the beginning. Yeah.
Holy shit, the game.
And that was a single player, and they could do third person dropping a co-op. Yes. But like, why didn't it be online?
Once again, Jez, once again, there was no PvP.
Yes,
there's no PvP. Why do we need games with these servers tied into them with no PvP? I don't understand it. Other than you're like, well, I don't want you to get these epic weapons too quick. I don't want you to get.
Yeah, well, artificially extending the longevity of the game. That's probably what they're doing, right, Frog?
You don't need to do that. Like I'm telling you, Outriders would have been good if it didn't have a server base and it was just me going through the game at my own pace with my friends, grinding to get my own weapons. I would have preferred that. That fucking server does not work. Every time I got on Outriders, server go down.
Azure servers. Speaking of Azure servers, guess who we got? Phil Ness and talking about the cloud again. Oh, baby. So, a new announcement came out today. They're putting cloud gaming on iOS, and they're also putting it on Windows 10 PC by invite only. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members. Now, if you have Game Pass for $10 on PC.
Wait, what's the Ultimate? Is that?
I'll tell you right now. Yeah,
Xbox Live. Yeah.
Yeah, if you get Xbox Live, and then this is where they're finessing the PC guys. So for $10, if you want the Game Pass on PC, and you get EA, and you get Game Pass on PC for $10. If you want streaming, you pay $15. Now, yes, you get Xbox Live Gold, but nobody gives a shit about Xbox Live Network. They call it now. You get that, even though if you're on PC, it doesn't matter, but you'll get xCloud too. So they're getting the $5 out of the PC guys if they want to stream it to PC. They want to use xCloud on PC through the browser. Also works on Steam. And I'm sorry, not Steam browser. It works on Chrome, and it works on Safari. So it's pretty full-fledged, and, it's great for xCloud. But what I thought was really interesting about Phil's comment here is what he responded to Danny Pena. He's the guy who hosts the Game Attack Radio. He's been working with Paris, but I like Danny better than Paris. But Paris is all right. Whatever. He's just a shill now. But anyway,
Yeah,
Danny goes, I
Paris is
can't wait to
chill, but
play.
I don't
Right?
have
Yeah,
anything
he turned
personally against
whacked,
him.
man. He turned whacked. I used to listen to him when he was Uncle Gamer, and he was awesome. He definitely has legs in Xbox. Danny Pena is awesome. The Gamer Tag Radio is the shit, man. I listen to that shit all the time.
Yeah.
He was awesome. They put music interludes and stuff. That's a great show, and they're great on the podcast. It's just Paris on social media has been kind of back and forth with his yellow chairs and stuff like that, and triggering a lot of people. But anyway, I thought this was very interesting though. What Phil wrote, right? He goes, I mostly have been streaming to PC. It's not the gameplay experience of a local game on gaming PCs, but when I'm on a PC with no GPU or just want to try something quick and play something that isn't on PC, it's really nice. It's about choice. Let us know what you think. What I thought was very interesting is if you remember when xCloud was being proposed, people said this is the future. Streaming is the future. Just like Netflix, like music, streaming is the future.
No ifs, ands, but right, streaming is the future.
But don't you notice Phil kind of is changing his tone, going, well, it's a great way to sample a game or try it out and stuff. It's not the same experience as local play, which before this, people will be like, no, man, latencies, they got latency technology. You don't even know it's there. But the fact that Phil's kind of alluding that this thing's not ready for prime time, maybe they'll get there eventually. But the fact that it's a sample. This is actually how I've been saying streaming is. This is how I use it on PlayStation now. Like, if I want to stream, I'll stream something to test it out, and then I'll maybe download it natively. But I always thought streaming was a good way to kind of like just test out stuff without downloading and waiting so long. It's like instant, test this game out. Is it worth to download or not? And I think that that's a good purpose for streaming. And it's interesting that Phil kind of alludes to that. Maybe they're in beta now, so he's trying to set expectations, like, hey, xCloud on PC is not, it's
Do you
not...
really think we're ready?
No. We're not ready. We're not ready at all.
We're totally not there. We're not ready.
We're not ready.
We're not there.
But the thing is like,
ready.
I agree. I see and I say this all the time about streaming. Like, I feel that streaming they should have been more. I wanted streaming to have more cool things, like maybe, like how we did with Golden Axe, and we did share play. That's a cool way to do streaming. Awesome. We beat Golden Axe, and we did couch co-op over the internet. And I did share play with you. Like, that's a cool way of streaming, but not really like, we're playing, but it's a different experience that was only capable by the streaming technology. The fact that I could couch co-op share a game that's not online, and we can make it online. I mean, it's not optimal, but it works for what it is, and that worked great. And we beat the game. We beat the game on the game. You didn't have it. It wasn't online, and we just did share play. Like, I thought that they would introduce cloud streaming as to adding more capabilities to gaming. Like, maybe, give me a 5-minute, a half-hour trial, 1 hour trial of a game. I don't have to download the full game, but I get access to the game for an hour streaming, so I could see if I want to play it.
I don't think we're ready for streaming yet.
No, we're not. But I do think that it's a good way of sampling games without downloading them. Like, it's a good, like, I think they should make all games have, like, a friggin' 15-minute streamable. Like, just make the game accessible 15 minutes so you don't have to download the full game. The developer doesn't have to make a specific demo. You basically give me a timer, you give me 30 minutes, and then I hit go, and the game just streams to my console or PC. I get to try it out for 30 minutes going, you know what, this seems like, maybe I'm going to buy this. Buy. I think that is such a cool, and without subscribing, without having another kind of monthly payment, just as a cool way of knowing if I want to pay, especially if you're asking for more money, $60, $70, maybe give me a 15-minute down. I'm not going to beat the game. I'm not going to beat it, but also too, like, I don't have to download it and commit that memory, but I could just access it instantly, stream it. 15-minute timer clicks down. You've done with your 15-minute demo stream or your 30-minute demo stream. Would you like to purchase this game? And that's a cool way to introduce the technology of streaming. It's a convenience. It's also a jump-off factor, but it's not like, hey, this is the future, streaming like Netflix or play on a 5-inch phone. Like, I thought that they would use streaming as something like that. But basically, he's saying that now where streaming on PC is not the gameplay, but it will also, like, it's a way to sample, and everybody's like, oh, I like this sampling stuff. And also, like, direct links, like you could click on a link now that's in a browser and you could like instantly play the game. It's funny because that's something that Stadia wanted to utilize in YouTube, where like your streamer is playing a game on YouTube and then you could click on the link and you could like pick up the game right where he left off. Well, ask Mothman Phil Harrison how that feature's coming. God damn it, Stadia's in the gutter. So I like what Microsoft is doing with xCloud. It sucks that it's another $5 on top of the PC Game Pass thing, but it also gives you 100 games. But this also will give you games that are on console that are not developed for PC, like Outriders, for example. Outriders. So I'm thinking if you get invited to this,
I don't think Outriders is on PC. Is it? PC
it's not. It's not on PC Game Pass. It's not. So what I think it's on Android though for xCloud. So if you get selected for this, you probably could play Outriders streaming on your PC through xCloud and with your service. So I do think that but I do think it's interesting that he acknowledges, because I think a lot of people were just saying streaming is going to replace what we do, and I don't think it's going to. And the fact that he's acknowledging this now is pretty interesting.
We are a long way.
Yeah. So this was the thing that's coming to, and I think a big thing is that's coming to iPad and iPhone, and it's also coming to, and they even have a Chromebook here too. It's pretty crazy. So like, this is it's pretty interesting that they're doing it, and also too in a lot of countries as well.
Anybody that thinks streaming is right now is a jackass. Like we don't have the infrastructure for it. People have been saying this for a long time. I don't know why people get this in their head. Like, oh man, they're gonna change something. Nah, we're gonna have to wait.
Well, I told you, it goes back to the main thing. Like they're hoping that streaming takes off from Sony, and meanwhile, Sony, you could stream PlayStation Now for the longest time on your PC right now. So that's why this is really. Nothing. And this is different. It's in the browser, though.
Do I prefer to stream? Hell no.
No,
I can't lie to me. I don't prefer to stream. Like I'm playing PlayStation Now games. I'm streaming like games like Sly Cooper. And I'm like, okay, my friends can't watch me. They can't.
Yes, you can't stream it. Yeah, you can't stream it.
But what I will say is, it does work. There's a shitload of games. Actually, there's a lot more games on PlayStation Now I didn't realize than there are on the Xbox Game Pass. There's that you can download.
Yes.
But what I'll say is like I said, if Sony wants to make a PlayStation Now, a PlayStation Plus type of service, or a PlayStation, Game Pass type of service, they can do it. They can easily do it. I don't think there's a need for them to do it right now. There's no need for them to do it. It'd be dumb as hell for them to do it.
They got a foot in it, Frog. Basically what you're saying, they do have a foot. Like with PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus, and with the games that they've been putting in PlayStation Plus, indie games day one, they're really making PlayStation Plus. If they want
to make a Game Pass, they could.
And the biggest thing, though, is that they're not going to put, right now, they're not going to put like the God of War, the new one, and all that other stuff in there. But hey, they're giving away
to do that.
Horizon Zero Dawn came out today for everybody for free.
They lose so much money.
No service today.
That's true.
It's for free.
I mean, they lose more money by doing that. I think what they're doing in their conventional way works for them and Nintendo. That's like saying, "Oh, Nintendo needs to do a Game Pass type service." Why?
No.
They look at the top 5 best-selling Nintendo games. There's still games that came out when they launched. Zelda and freaking Mario Kart and all that. So neither Sony and Nintendo, they're all doing different things. Nintendo's choosing that, hey, we'll just be your second console on the road handheld kind of console. Sony's like, hey, we'll be the best, PlayStation console you've ever had, and we'll make your experiences the best when you play them. And Microsoft's like, well, we can't beat anybody, so we'll just give you Game Pass, and hopefully that works,
Yeah.
I think that works for them, and that's great. There's nothing. I don't have anything against Game Pass for Xbox players, but I don't think that everybody that sees Xbox needs to think that every game system needs it. And I hear people saying stupid shit like that, like, "Oh, every console needs a Game Pass type solution." No, they don't.
No.
They don't need it. When Sony games and Nintendo games start failing to come out and present to us the good games they've been producing, then yeah, maybe they need to think about it. At this point, why would they need that? Like hand over fist, like they make some of the best games in the market. It's like, why does Sony and Nintendo need a Game Pass type solution or a situation? They don't. You know, and that's just to say, like, look at the history of what Sony and Nintendo have been doing. Look at the PlayStation 1 until now. Sony's been on a freaking, they're rock stars. You know, it's like, how do we stop them? That's what Microsoft needs to think. How do we stop them? Oh,
they're not going to try to
Game
stop
Pass.
them. They're going to join them. And like I see this
No.
Game Pass thing, and I'm telling you, like this Game Pass
Game
thing,
Pass is going to be everywhere.
they're going
It's
to
gonna
put
be
it on
everywhere.
a Switch a couple of years from now, and then probably on a PlayStation years after
Yes,
that.
yes,
The thing
yes,
is that
yes,
once
I
they
totally
start
agree.
giving themselves their own identity in Game Pass, right now they're grabbing like third-party games. They got a couple of indie games. Their Game Pass library is too similar to the multi-platform library that will compete with Sony's platform. But once they start putting their own exclusive games in there, and it is like chock full of games only from Game Pass on them, now Game Pass has a value to
once the
Sony.
Bethesda games start coming in there, it has a value.
If it's only
Like, I
on
think
Game
the
Pass,
is gonna,
exactly.
yes,
Now
yes.
Sony
two,
has
2
a
3
value
years from now,
for
Game
it.
Pass is gonna have a major value.
Then
I
it'll have a
honestly
value.
think
But
they'll
right
have a
now,
value,
like
yes.
putting MLB in their third-party games that are on Sony's store, Sony doesn't want that. That competes with their shit. Plus,
Yeah, they don't
Sony
want
might
that,
evolve
obviously,
PlayStation Now, and if PlayStation Now and Plus don't work together, then Sony might say, hey, let's do an Xbox, and Xbox will do the Game Pass. The thing is like Game Pass, whatever.
I kind of wish they would do a PlayStation Now and a Plus subscription. You know,
a combo
$99
one,
a
they
year.
should. But here
I
we go.
kinda wish they
You
would.
brought up the MPD things, right? Jesus.
Yep.
So MPDs came
Oh,
out
God.
also here. And woof. So we got Outriders, so you said Trash Riders, number 3 came in.
my
Monster
gosh.
Hunter Rise
Dick
on
Riders,
Nintendo.
Trash Riders, whatever you want to call it.
Miles Morales has climbed up from 5 to 4.
No
went from 5 to
way.
4. It's at 5.
That game is still charting?
Yeah, oh yeah. For the top
Holy
20
crap.
games already, all platforms. Sony's game falls at number 5.
I did not know that. I
Yeah.
would not expect that.
Miles Morales number 5. Then Nintendo just goes crazy with Mario Kart. Valhalla's in there. New
See
Horizon,
what I'm saying?
Animal Crossing.
Mario Kart. See what I'm
Super
saying?
Mario
Like, Nintendo
3D
doesn't
All
need-
Stars. Frog 3D All Stars
Wow.
is
I
number
have that
9.
game. Wait, isn't that game discontinued as of right now?
I don't know. Minecraft's there at 10. And
If
Call
I'm
of
not
Duty's
mistaken,
there.
if I'm not mistaken, Super Mario is if I'm not mistaken, it's discontinued. They don't, you can't buy it physically anymore. Because if I heard a rumor, people were trying to sell it on eBay for
3D
like
All
thousands of
Stars.
dollars.
Well, this is digital
Yeah.
sales are not included in this Nintendo
Oh, digital!
games.
Wow.
And it's
Wow,
charting.
yeah.
Super Mario 3D
So yeah,
World.
I'm right. So 3D is the All Stars game, the one with Mario 64 and all that. You cannot buy that anymore. That's why people are trying to sell it for a ridiculous price.
So we
I
got
fucking hate
that, and then
scalpers.
you look. That's an all platforms. So year to date, all 10 platforms. Miles Morales is sitting at number 3 over
Wow.
Monster Hunter Rise.
That's very impressive.
That's
That's
crazy.
very impressive. I wouldn't expect that. I'm not even gonna lie
Miles
to you.
Morales
Not
has
because-
sold more than
It's not because I don't think
has
the game
been
is
out
good. I
longer.
just think that the game, like, it came out at the time where, like, we're done with that. Like, I figured, like, it would have sold what it sold, and that would be it. Wow, I'm very impressed.
That's across all platforms. So like on their own platform, Miles Morales outsold Outriders in the month of March.
Wow.
Yeah, and Ghost of Tsushima is still at number 8.
Wow.
And then you look at, I don't know what the hell Xbox platform is, but his Xbox platform.
Well,
Outriders,
guess
Assassin's
I guess
Creed
I shouldn't be
outsold
impressed.
Outriders, which is interesting.
Assassin's Creed is a pretty
And
big
It Takes Two
franchise,
charted
so-
at 8. But you got Mortal
you know
Kombat
what?
11.
You know what? I will say It Takes Two is a really good game.
Mm.
Really good game. Very impressed.
And then the other thing, Frog, is that one of the biggest things that came out was that Sony, they said that the PlayStation 5 is the fastest selling console ever in the U.S.
Well, that doesn't surprise me for 2 reasons. I guess the first reason is because I just look at how well the PS4 did. Microsoft dominated the 360 era, and I think and I'm gonna be honest with you, they want to feel that 360 era again. They want to feel like they felt in the 360 era. And I don't think they'll be able to do it again, as of right now. Like I said, Sony's, Nintendo and Sony, the only thing that can kick Nintendo and Sony's ass is themselves.
Mhm.
They kick their own ass. And Sony's competition is themselves. Nintendo's competition is themselves. Microsoft's competition realistically is just how well Game Pass can do. I feel
Yeah,
like
and that's why there's so much
Sony
a
can,
push for it because
yeah,
they know that that's
and
basically where
that's why I think
their game is, right?
everybody's doing their own thing. Microsoft's like, hey, we can get games like Dirt and Dick Riders and all these other games in the Game Pass. That's great, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But Sony's like, hey, we got Godfall exclusive for this amount of time, and we don't care if people don't like it, but we got it for this amount of time. And hey, we did an exclusive deal with this and exclusive, like, and now there's a rumor, once again, a rumor that Sony may be planning to buy Square Enix. And
Well,
do I
Square
kind of
Enix
wish
shot that down the next day that they weren't looking
yeah.
around, but you never know.
And
Who's gonna buy them?
my whole thing is if Sony buys Square Enix, would it fit? Yeah, it's a perfect fit because Bethesda fits with Xbox and Square Enix fits with Sony. And I honestly think that both Sony and Microsoft would be even at that point as far as studios. If Sony was like, hey, we own Square Enix, I personally think like they're even. I think they're even Steven.
But let me say something. This is the thing. If you look at, and I know, like I can't believe that the PS5, like this is the thing.
That's pretty interesting.
It is interesting because
they're pumping as many as they can out. That's
exactly because the thing is like this thing being so hard to get, you think that it must be a supply constraint. The fact that they haven't released as many as they released at the PlayStation 4, that they are doing this. But the fact is that they are outpacing the PlayStation 4. It's really that demand is that high that these consoles are real. You think that they say, hey, we have a drop at Target, and you think they're dropping maybe 3 consoles and they sold them. No, they got to be dropping more than that because these things are selling that fast.
I'm going to tell you, they're dropping, and I'm be honest with you, I honestly, when I see them, I think they're dropping 50 here, 50 there, most places. But
and they're going that fast.
And as much as I hate to say this, I think that the only consumer place is doing it, or the only store is doing it right is GameStop. I think that,
and also Sony Direct too.
Yeah, and Sony Direct. I think that because you can't get your hands on these places, I think bundles need to be sold. That helps. It helps GameStop out. But the reason I say bundles need to be sold because I think it helps scalpers from just buying a console by itself. Dude, I'm going on eBay and on the time I see guys sitting there with 10, 15 consoles, and they're like $1,000. I'm like, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. Like, I understand. Like, I understand people, supply and demand, but come on, man. You got people who just want to play these things. They're not worried about making money. Most people just want to do it. But you got a lot of people out there who care nothing about gaming. And look, the market's like that. It's
tough, man. The scalpers and the bots, dude.
I think that every PS5 and every Xbox needs to be sold. And I know Xbox won't do it because they're trying to push Game Pass, but I think there may be bundles. Hey, here's an extra controller. Here's the headset.
That'll stop scalpers with all the bundle stuff because they don't want all that extra shit.
Right, and that'll stop scalpers with bundle stuff. Include with every PS5 and every Xbox, include their headset that's specific to them.
I think too, is that I think that both Sony and Nintendo,
at least 2 or 3 games.
I think that both, and I think that Sony needs to stop this whole, you got to buy it online. Just go to the store and get it. Like, But you know why they're not doing it? They don't want lines up at the store, and these stores don't want that extra traffic.
Right.
Because of this
want that
pandemic.
Traffic because of COVID.
Yep.
And they don't want people fighting and I get that. So what I'll say, because a buddy of mine, he was like, oh, I'm going to get mine at Walmart. I got a good connect. Well, the guy at Walmart was like, hey, man.
You got to buy it
online.
I
know when they're coming. He said, this is what he told him. I know when they're coming in, but unfortunately, you can't buy it at the store. You have to buy it online. Do that. And then, once you buy it online, or not, I'm sorry, it was Target. You have to buy it online. Then once you buy it online, you can come to Target and pick it up, but we're going to bring it out to your car. So you don't even come in the store to get it. We'll bring it out to your car. And my buddy's like, well, online, your store, your site crashes every time. He was like, yeah. You just got to try to find a way to get it. And I was like, fuck that.
Bullshit.
And I said, if they just sold bundles, that would really help.
So
Stop
they
scalpers.
didn't announce their sales by March 31st, so they didn't do their results yet. But they had 4.5 million sold globally by 2020, and in February they said they were on track to sell over 7.6 million units by March 31st. Matt Piscatella says here that PlayStation 5 is the fastest selling console in U.S. history in both unit and dollar sales. Lifetime sales within 5
really
months
good.
on the market. Now, think about this, Frog. If you want to think relative to the competition, Microsoft has 2 consoles at 2 different price points. 2 consoles at different price points versus the PlayStation 5. Yes, that has 2 different versions of the PlayStation 5, but Microsoft is hitting a lower price point. How the hell? I guess, like it is definitely a statement that your one PlayStation 5 is outselling 2 next-gen Microsoft consoles. It is not just an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4. It is basically 2 Xboxes. One is lower priced, bottomed out, and over the PlayStation 5. And the fact is too is that it's just Nintendo and Sony when they talk hardware NPDs. Like, they don't even mention Xbox in any of these descriptions.
Microsoft is not. I mean, I did see Porter Rock put something up there about Spain, and I think they sold 5 Xbox Series.
Oh, I don't know if that's real. But the thing is,
I don't know if that's real, but I'm kind of like, that's pretty funny. It may or may not be real.
It is funny, but it's just
it's funny. I like the jokes, but when it comes down to it, we honestly know that. We do know that Microsoft is not going to beat the PlayStation, and we do know PlayStation right now.
See, let me tell you something, Frog. The thing is the sales thing. My thing is that for me, and I don't know why some people like this, but for me, I don't consider Xbox winning or coming back if Game Pass is successful. I don't consider that. To Xbox, for me, I'm primarily a console player. And my point is that I want the console to be successful so that development for said console and specialization in that console exists. So when your console is not selling at the rate of your competition, then your competitor is going to get the mind share from developers to develop specifically for that console. Especially Microsoft's focus on multi-platforms, where the platform is Game Pass but not the console itself. For me, that is a major L because I'm a primarily console player. Just because Xbox and Game Pass might be successful on a 5-inch phone with a strap-on, double-sided,
right?
That goes on your phone and goes on a thing. It goes on your controller. I don't consider that, the Xbox is back, Game Pass is in, because and I saw in the last few weeks, it was Game Pass versus Sony first party. And it's like, Game Pass with all the AAA and indie, with all the multi-plat and all the indie games and MLB, that allows devs to do what they want, where Sony's just focusing on big AAA games. And then I was like, but wait a second. If you look at Microsoft Studios, you got Avowed, you have Fable, you have Perfect Dark, you have Gears, you have Halo Infinite. The first-party studios should be focusing on first-party big games.
All their first-party games are big, and it's going to take them years and years to make.
Years, that's what they said, dude. And the thing is my thing is that when you want Microsoft to be competitive, I want them to be competitive in the console space so that maybe there's a chance that they will specialize in the console. Like them saying, hey, we're putting games, I just think for me, Xbox winning was the console. But for a lot of people, they pivoted. And now Xbox just slapping somebody on the ass is a win now. Anything for Xbox is a win. And it's out of desperation, because the thing is that the true thing that brought us all together as Xbox fans is the one thing that they have dissolved. And I know that that's another reason why there's been that huge outcry for when they see these kind of moves by Sony, like Sony's Japan and Sony AAA.
It's kind of like people looking there like, oh, man.
Don't you do it. They're like, don't you do it. And that's where a lot of people.
I don't think that in my honest opinion, I don't think that PlayStation needs to do what Microsoft is
They
doing. I don't think
don't.
Microsoft. No, Microsoft
They're
shouldn't
winning
try
and
to
doing
do
what
what
they're
Sony's
doing.
doing.
But then people say
They
they're in
can't
trouble
do
now.
what Sony's doing. Yeah, they can't do what Sony's doing. No, they're not in trouble.
Well,
Look,
you saw the news over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I
Optics.
saw the news. You know what?
Shit.
You know what? I'm gonna say
What's
this,
up,
and this is gonna
Shadow
be-
the Ghost? What's up?
This is gonna be super controversial, man. I saw Heartache.
Oh,
Post
shit.
something in the
There you
timeline, right? And everybody knows me and Harley. We
Uh-huh.
don't really vibe. But what I'll say is, Heartache, he says there's some things he says, and I agree with him. And he says, have we not forgot, who Sony is? He said, did we not watch them struggle with the PS3 and still outsell Microsoft? Did we forget that they've been dominate? They've been dominant since they've come out, and I agree with him. Like, no matter what, I feel about the guy personally, I agree with him when it comes to gaming. Like, Sony is dominant with the PlayStation brand. That is a dominant brand. Like, it's very hard to compete against them. They know this. Like, I don't think that you can stop them unless it's by an act of,
just making better games or games that
Yeah,
and taking games
it
away
would take,
from them, taking
right,
games away.
It really would take for Sony to really
And Sony
be
got
in a
VR as
slump.
well. That's what Microsoft doesn't have any say in the
like,
VR space.
People think that, oh man, PS5 is going to become the next Dreamcast or something. Like, it's not. Like, Sony. Look, let me tell you something. No matter how much fanboy stuff that people like to admit, since Sony is coming to the game, they've been in here to look. They came in the game. They want to partner with Nintendo. People don't know history. They try to partner with Nintendo, make the Super Nintendo, PlayStation. And Nintendo kind of screwed them. And they said, we'll go out and make our own. And guess what? Sony destroyed Nintendo. Like, Nintendo dominated everything for a while in the 80s. And when Nintendo screwed Sony over, Sony came out that PlayStation 1, and it shut the industry. People got to look at not just their console sales, look at their libraries. Look at what they're known for. When you think of Final Fantasy VII, you think of PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think of Tekken, you think of PlayStation. There's just certain things when I think of certain franchises, I'm like, yeah, that's PlayStation. Devil May Cry, PlayStation. Final Fantasies, PlayStation. Mostly stuff, a lot of stuff from Capcom is kind of PlayStation. But what I'm saying is, it's not multi-plat. It's just that Sony is not going anywhere with the PlayStation brand. I don't think Xbox is going anywhere, but I think the route they're going is different. And
It's
I
different
definitely don't
what
see
it means. Yeah.
I definitely don't see Nintendo going anywhere anytime soon. And let's be honest, out of all three big console makers, Nintendo has the most to lose because they just do consoles. They just do games. Like, if Nintendo gets it wrong, they're done. Like, I mean, as far as like, it could really hurt them. I mean, we look at the Wii U, and the Wii U it did bad. And Nintendo caught freaking lightning with the Switch. And that's what they needed. They really needed that, because we don't want Xbox or a PlayStation or a Nintendo system to fail. You don't want that, because you just don't want one of them dominating the market. And it's kind of like, like, what if Tesla was the dominant? Yeah, Tesla's dominating the EV market right now. But guess what? Other EV cars are going to come out, and they got to compete against Tesla. Why? Because right now Tesla dominates the market.
Oh yeah,
Like,
you gotta get a bunch of Me Too's that come out. Yeah.
Like, when I went to go look at buying an EV car, I was like, "Fuck, man!" I keep going back to Tesla.
You gotta get a Tesla.
I'm like,
I love it, man. It's incredible.
Because look, I thought about buying a new Mach-E Mustang. Then I was like, "Fuck, man!" But I can get a Tesla at this price, and it's still better. You know what I'm saying?
So the new the interior, man, it's crazy with the 2
Oh
screens.
my gosh, it's so. Because I thought about either buying because my son's going to college, So I thought, buying him, a graduation present. I was like, okay, I really don't want to buy him a Tesla. He's going to be in Nebraska. It's going to be cold. So I said, you know what? I told my wife, hey, we'll give him our Volkswagen truck, our Atlas, and we'll buy us a Tesla. Then we looked at the Mustang. Then we looked at there's some other EV cars out there, another Volkswagen EV car. But basically, it came back around to Tesla again. I was like, fuck, man, like everything that I want, the Tesla has. You see what I'm saying? So competition is good,
Yeah,
And
exactly.
guess what? Mercedes will come out with something that
but
I like.
The thing is that it's hard to and this was the same thing that I said was the problem with Microsoft not doing VR, is that you're not in the conversation, and they lost that conversation
At
with
all. Yes.
Windows Phone. Is that they didn't believe in it? They let Apple establish themselves in the market.
And that's Phil Spencer's mistake.
Yes,
Phil Spencer
and they let them
said
establish
VR was coming,
themselves.
and then they backpedaled and said, no, there's not. And they should have did something in the VR market. When Sony has the best-selling VR on the market right now, that I still know of, they're the best-selling, VR. You got to jump in there and say, look, we may not sell but 4 million freaking pieces of software or hardware and software, but the thing, I'm sorry, hardware, but at least we can produce software for it. Because look, Resident Evil 4 may come to PlayStation's VR. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or that when the next PlayStation 5 VR, the PlayStation 2 VR, whatever comes out, we may get the freaking, what's that game called with Half-Life Alexa? We may get that on the PS5.
Alex, yes.
And guess Half-Life Alex. And guess what? Microsoft is sitting back like, we got Game Pass, but it would be nice to be like, hey, for you guys that want to play these VR, and I think they need to be in that conversation. You got a box that's powerful enough to do it. Why not do it? That's another market you can have. Why not?
Yes.
I don't know.
And I totally agree. Like, the thing is like you need, like, once you establish yourself as a leader, then everybody wants to copy you. It's hard to kind of shake everybody to say like, because people are going to define themselves with the leader, with the one that started the trend, and the ones that
remember
try
what
to
happened
copy.
with the Switch?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, not the Switch. Remember what happened to Wii? Wii came out motion control, and everybody tried to copy it.
And it was like, but that is it like the Wii? Is it like the Wii?
It's not the Wii.
It's not the Wii. Is it like the Wii? That's like electric cars. You're like, it's like a Tesla. Is it like a Tesla? Because Tesla was the one who came out and established himself. So everything will be compared to that reference item.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I love Mustangs. I think the Mustang Mach-E is a cool car, but when I compare it to what I can get a Tesla for, I'd rather have a Tesla. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, for the price I'm gonna pay with the Mustang Mach-E, then I might as well not even buy a Mustang Mach-E. I might as well buy a regular Mustang. Because of that money, I can just go buy a Tesla.
That's right.
It's going to be better.
The cost is there, man. Just to wrap up the whole thing with the PlayStation 5, like moving forward and stuff like that, what I wanted to kind of point out is like, he did, Gordon Ramsay did an interview, Jim Gordon Ramsay did an interview back, when they were talking about October 29th, when they were talking back about the PlayStation 5 and trying to make it more successful than the PlayStation 4, and, coming in with a larger audience, he mentioned, and stuff like that. And with the PS4, we're coming off a lackluster PlayStation 3. Now we have 100 million gamers. Like, they're coming off a strong generation. And one thing that I thought was pretty interesting in reading over this, like, I like going back and seeing what they were saying and seeing what the results were, because at the time, he knew pre-orders, but we didn't know that this thing was going to be the fastest selling console ever, which is pretty interesting, is that you would think with the sales of the PlayStation 4 that people would be more attached to that and not kind of leapfrog off to the PlayStation 5. I think the backwards compatibility helps people with that. I think it probably would have been a much longer adoption to the PlayStation 5 if backwards compatibility didn't exist, because I think people are comfortable with their games coming with them. So I think that adds to that. But I do think that offering games that that people want to play and doing that, I do think that offers a lot. And that's, we see Miles Morales is one of them. Having Miles Morales at launch has been a key to have that attachment rate to the PlayStation 5. Even though that thing got put on the PlayStation 4, people were like, there it is, a cross-gen game. Gordon Ramsay lied. And now, we got you. And now it's just a PlayStation 4 game. Everybody's just going to stick with their PlayStation 4s. No, people are waiting to play that on PlayStation 5 because it is actually increasing in sales as there are more PlayStations available on the MPDs, which is the attach rate for Spider-Man Miles Morales. People are waiting. They're waiting to play that on the PlayStation. And I can see people go, why are they waiting? Well, Xbox, that's all you do on Xbox is wait. So, if people want to wait till they get a PS5 to play Miles Morales, to have something to play on their next-gen console, they could wait just as much as the Xbox guy could wait for 5 years.
Why not wait? I mean,
why not wait a few months?
If I knew I wanted a PlayStation 5,
Jim Gordon Spencer. What the hell?
And I have plenty of friends that want PS5s, and they're not buying a lot of the games that are on the PS5, even if they're cross-gen. They're just like, I'm just gonna wait.
Just wait, because you have a launch lineup, and you'll probably get it for cheaper too.
Yeah, and then they're like, you know what I'll do? I'll just wait until I can get this game, and or this console, and then I'll have a lot of games to play. Like, I have friends that they didn't play the Spider-Man. And I'm like, why don't you play it? It's on PS4. They're like, nope, nope. They're like, once I saw you play it, like my buddy, oh excuse me, he was over at my house and he saw me playing Spider-Man. He was like, I don't even want to touch a PS5 controller until I have it in my hand. And he went out and I got him a PlayStation 5 charger and a controller. And I said, here you go. And he said, I can't use it. I don't have a console. I said, well, when you get one, you get an extra controller and you get a charging stand. I said, because that's what you're really going to need. I suggested that to him. And he watches me play PS5 games. And he's like, yo, he's like, I can see the difference. He's like, I can't wait until I get my PS5. I said, well, at this point, if you can get a Series X or a PS5, just get either one. And he's like, I only want a PS5. And I'm like, why? He's like, because I want to play that Spider-Man game. The Xbox doesn't have it. And that kind of, it goes back to the whole selling point of exclusives and games that the other one doesn't have. There's nothing on Xbox he really cares about. He doesn't care about Halo. He's not a big fan of Halo, but he bought his PlayStation 4 for Ghost of Tsushima. He said, that's why I bought it. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, when I saw Ghost of Tsushima, he's like, I knew I had to have a PlayStation. And I think that's the whole key point.
It's the games, man. It's the games and the hardware. That's what it is. Like, the services come around, and the services are definitely important, but the games are the things that get you there, because you're buying a gaming console. If you're not interested in gaming, smart delivery you don't give a shit about smart delivery. If you don't care about games, all that stuff with instant resume and vibrations and adaptive triggers, if you don't have games, that stuff does not matter. And you need compelling games to demonstrate your hardware. That's why I just don't understand. Like, right now, Microsoft is being the most vocal online again. They're talking about all these little things where the xCloud's coming, where here's a couple of booster games. And shout out to who said, I think earlier on, somebody wanted to hear booster. Well, we got you right here. Here he is. We got a request for booster.
You know what? Nobody likes you, Booster.
The rumors are true. We have received a small quantity of the action figure known as Turbo Man.
There's that PS5.
People to be quiet again. Do you hear me? If you're not one of the lucky few, we have plenty of Turbo Man's faithful pet tiger Booster in stock.
Guys, hit that like button. We're almost at 30 likes. We got 51 people grinders in the Grindhouse, man, for this late start to the gaming Grindhouse and the extended Grinds Table episode. And we're about to bring this baby home with the final topic. Everybody likes Booster, the Coon says. Everybody wants a booster. Send all your boosters to the Coon 1985. He's collecting them all. So the final topic one thing I wanted to show, and I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I thought I'll point this out. Frog, did you see, let me refresh to see if it got any more updates, but I know it only has 5 reviews, but oh my goodness.
Here we go. I already know what we're talking about.
Frog, what happened? What's going on here? Why is the show looking at yellow?
I've heard people say, because, man, we don't want to say it's because it's a multi-plat game.
Oh, we don't.
We don't want to say that.
So let's see.
We don't want to say that.
IGN France gave it a Comment allez-vous of 70. Screen Rant gave it a
surprised.
70, and Forbes gave it a 70.
I thought this game would be 8 and above.
Yeah, I thought so too. Tons of bugs. I'm looking at some of the user reviews. Tons of bugs. So I read one of the reviews. They reviewed some Forbes, and this thing is pretty interesting. And again, we don't want to say that it got the smell of Phil Ness and Game Pass, but anyway, this is the thing that, look at the bad, like the good for MLB, but look at the stuff that they left out. Like in Stadium Creator, you can't play at night. Road to the Show has some new wrinkles. It says it has bugs. This is the biggest one. Graphically, no leap in the game, which is crazy for a next-gen game. they basically do not have a graphical leap in between. And I thought the same thing. Like, I was looking at the PS5 and I'm like, the character models don't look like, they look good, but like they don't look any next gen at all compared to the PlayStation 4.
So what you're telling me is it doesn't look as good as FIFA on the PS5. FIFA looks
No,
amazing
FIFA on the PS5. Holy, they got the hair technology.
That game looks amazing.
Yo,
that game is amazing.
Woo. FIFA, man, that was an update. You want to hear the update? The Madden update was pretty good too, but the frigging gameplay of Madden completely changed though. Like
Madden's
it made
clean. It. NBA 2K is very
NBA 2K looked good too.
Yeah, but FIFA, I would say out of all
FIFA looked the best.
FIFA, oh my gosh,
Yes.
that game looks amazing.
FIFA looked incredible, but yeah, like no graphical leap, no night games in ballparks, no online franchise, no expansion in franchise mode, no carryover saves.
Here's a theory.
Commentary still behind.
Do you think they were like, screw it, we don't care?
Dude, I don't know. I was reading this review and I'm like, I was looking at the reviews and I'm like, dude, did they just like phone this shit in?
At this point, they could have put this game on the Switch at this point and it would have ran okay. Because yeah, I've heard some
did
things
they
like,
phone this in? And then look, if you go, and it's only 5 reviews, so let's not jump the gun. And it's a 74.
Yeah, it's a disappointing.
But user scores dropped.
It's a disappointing start.
And then you look at the Xbox Series X version. They don't have reviews yet. They're at a 6.4 as well, user score, and it's like,
yeah,
you know, dude, like I'm surprised. I'm surprised that it's starting out so low.
It's disappointing start.
It's weird.
But I think when it boils down to it, I think that
But I'm like, what happens if Sony has the last? I don't even know. Man. They're like, we just phoned this shit in, man. They're making something else.
I think Sony should have just let EA take the license and say screw it. You know, how many companies at this point make sports games by exclusive for their system? Like, just let EA or 2K take the freaking franchise and just let them do it. You know, and I kind of feel like Sony should have said once they said, hey, we want this to be multi-plat. Well, let EA or 2K take it, because I think EA or 2K
MLB the show, Frog.
EA or 2K wanted it. Just let them take it, you know?
It's starting out at a 74. So the show 20 was 83. The show 18 was 82. 17 was 85. 85, 80, 91 MLB the show in 2010.
Here's my thing, Jazz. Why couldn't, and let's be real. Do you remember back in PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 days when Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo made their own sports games?
Oh, yeah. Like, NFL Fever.
You know, the Fever and the Inside Drive, and Sony was like, oh, we got our 989 studios that make our sports games. Why can't we just go back? I understand things are expensive, but nobody wants EA or 2K controlling everything. 2K basically can just dominate basketball, and it'd be nice to see 2K make 2K makes right now. 2K, as far as sports, make 2 sports games. They make basketball and they make golf. They got Tiger Woods in their new golf for next year, which, the PGA is a really good game. If you haven't played it, definitely go out and buy it. Really good game, support it, because I do want more good golf games. Tiger Woods, once Tiger Woods left EA, there was no golf games. So definitely support the PGA game. But what I'll say is, like, at this point, if I was Sony, I would have said, screw it. We're going to let, this studio, which is what Sony is San Diego, right? We're going to let them make new IPs.
Let's phone in this one? No. That what's funny is I thought something similar. Maybe they said, hey,
point, they should just let them make a new IP.
Copy and paste last year's MLB and work on something new now that, MLB is not going to be the main focus of the studio. You don't know. Like, you don't know, but I just thought it was interesting before we move on to the topic that it's just like,
I don't think it'd be on the Xbox. It made it worse. I think they just didn't do a big.
And it's a cross gen game where sports games, like for some reason, they think they need to reset and take away features that we
Yes.
should have had.
Yes.
And in the previous generation, I don't know why they do this. Maybe they do new engines, but this one definitely, and I noticed this from MLB. I have MLB 19, and that's the last one I need because they really, first off, their
I got
online
last year's.
sucks. Yeah, I didn't get 20. It was like $8, I think, like on sale. It was cheap as
I got 20. I got 20 because my PS4 Pro was overheating. Sony fixed it for free, and they sent me a free copy.
Oh, yes.
I
remember you told me that.
And I didn't get the regular edition. They sent me the expensive one. I was like, that's kind of cool.
So the last topic I wanted to talk about, I know you got that one. And I know that you got the they gave you the MLB because it was on sale for like $20. So the last thing I wanted to end on here, and guys, hit that like button again. We want to finish this. Is like the last idea of, and you just get a couple of thoughts on here, and you guys in the chat. Aziz says, I don't think it's a coincidence, but to each his own. Like, yeah, I don't think so either. It's just really weird. The first time they got multi-plat, it's in Game Pass, and you just see that yellow, and you're just like, huh?
Wait. You know what I want to do?
What?
You know what? I want to do something real quick before you move on. There are a lot of games, and I said this before, when a lot of games went multi-plat, I think it made them worse. I remember when Tekken went multi-plat, it seemed like that game was worse. Devil May Cry, it seemed worse. Like, a lot of games went multi-plat in the 360 era because 360 came out first. And
Final Fantasy
I honestly,
13?
Yeah.
11? Was
11? 13 was the first multi-plat, if I'm not mistaken. 13.
Yeah, 13.
And I think a lot of games when they go multi-plat, I think it kind of takes away that developers like, I'm used to just working with one platform. Now, it might hurt it, but I think, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, Tekken has went down in score since it went multi-plat. So Caliber was kind of multi-plat in the Xbox generation. Yeah, it seems like every game, it seems like a lot of games that went multi-plat, it hurt them. Like a lot of games that were only on one system, when they became multi-plat, not like sports games, but like franchises like Resident Evil and when they went multi-plat, it was like, kind of the games weren't as big. They couldn't just take as many risks. So what they did is they made a multi-plat game. Like Resident Evil, kind of like after 4, it became a multi-plat game with 5 and 6.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely like either it stretches them too thin or they have somebody else do the port and they focus on the other one. But you're right. Like sometimes, like, it does... How
good do you think Devil May Cry would be if it was only on PlayStation, or Tekken would be if it was only on PlayStation?
Well, I think developers definitely have a much more focus. Like if they could focus on one piece of hardware, maybe they could optimize and they could add certain things and things like that. Whereas if they do multi-plat, they got to be scalable. They got to do. That was one of my concerns with Microsoft putting their games everywhere on day one. You see, maybe they can't give you 90 features on day one because they got to make sure this works on a million different devices, but maybe if they said, hey, just put this on an Xbox Series X and a Series X and that gen consoles, maybe they could have the game give you all 90 features.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Instead,
and
ship
I
with 20
that,
and we're going to add the next later on.
Yeah, I honestly think that when some games become multi-plat, it can hurt or help them. Like Call of Duty being multi-plat doesn't hurt them, right?
Yeah.
But a game like Tekken, it'd be better just to leave it on PlayStation. I don't think it'd be on, Xbox makes it any better. But excuse me.
But MLB Publishing did who knows? MLB
I think
ran with
I
this shit.
think like going forward, like you're gonna see a lot more fighting games on PlayStation systems that are exclusive, like the Street Fighters and the Tekkens because of Evo. And I don't blame them for that. And you'll still see like the Smash and all that, but I honestly think that some games just need to remain to a console because they kind of have that lineage, It was so weird to see a game like Devil May Cry be on an Xbox. I was like, wow, this is so weird. It was a very weird thing because Devil May Cry 4 was the first one, and it was so weird to see Tekken on the Xbox. I was like, this is so weird. It just didn't feel like it belonged there. And then obviously PlayStation, any game that goes multi-plat, like a Metal Gear or whatever, it's going to sell better on this home console.
Yeah.
Sony's console always dominates Final Fantasies, Tekkens, those kind of games. And I think that it's great that it's multiplayer because developer gets to make more money. But I think developers are starting to realize, like, hey, we put Street Fighter, blah 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 on PlayStation. Well, they own Evo. Well, the next Street Fighter will only be on PlayStation again. The next Tekken will only be on PlayStation. Next, whatever. And I don't think there's a bad thing to that. I think that it's your console's like Xbox is known for the bro shooter kind of console. It's known to be the shooter box, and PlayStation can be the fighter box. I don't think there's a problem with that. I think that everybody's doing something different. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you were saying?
No, I was just saying, like, yeah, no. Again, this is early reviews on this thing, but you never know. The multi-platform development, given a lot of variations and scalability, I'm sure compromises and things like that need to be probably made. And if Sony went to their San Diego studio, said, hey, yeah, I do think that some of their probably hits are going to be more of a cross-gen thing where they don't have features, and they probably said, hey, we just want to get this optimized for the next-gen consoles, that we didn't have time to put the stuff in, and some mishaps. And, the other thing, too, I do think MLB The Show is definitely relying on a lot of microtransactions in the Road to the Show and those cards and shit like that. I think Road to the Show, true, I don't know if Road to the Show has microtransactions. I think it might. I never did Road. I did Road to the Show. No, I don't think it does. Oh, does it have abilities on the microtransactions? Or I know the cards are for like your dream team, sure. Like your dream team. I can't remember if
20 had it.
I don't remember. I didn't play 20.
19? Wait, did 19 have it?
19 had it for like a dream team, like your cards,
yeah,
like
for
the mutt and the foot and all the other shit that EA has. But anyway, so the thing is, like, yeah, I do think that, I don't think those scores are going to hold that way. I'm sure it'll go up maybe, to the 80s and stuff where it should be.
I think it'll go up.
It's just really weird that it's just touting down there. And if it stays down there and kind of floats around the 70s and stuff, I'm just going to be a fun day.
I thought it was weird that
fun day on Twitter, I'll tell you that.
70s. I thought the game would easily be at 8.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, and so it's weird. I don't think it's because it'd be on an Xbox, but what I would say is, like, it is weird seeing a game that's developed by, a studio that Sony owns be on that console. It is a little weird. I'm not going to lie and say it isn't. It is very weird.
And anyway, 11 o'clock tonight, Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be free. I think it's 11 o'clock tonight. I think you could get Horizon Zero Dawn.
Midnight, yes. Well, actually, right now.
Right now. So go. Stay alive here, stay here, but go download your thing. So the main thing, the last thing I wanted to touch on, the last kind of topic, and this has been the long grinds table here. No grinds board tonight.
No, it's great.
But it's just good. We're just going down the list of all the craziness. So the last thing of craziness was the end of conclusion to why I called Sony Mania, when we had Jason Schreier talking to this, and like I said about Sony Mania. So then Jaffe brought on. And anyway, the thing about Jason Schreier and Schreier, whatever he has, that bitch fest back and forth with the Jaffe and the devs, and it was ridiculous last week. And it just kept going. Yeah. Even after my show on Monday, that shit just kept rolling all week about it. And, all I'm going to say is everybody who is making fun of Sony's not focused on, I don't know why you get mad at a company focusing on AAA games. When they're giving you indies like Kenna and all those other games, Oddworld and shit like that. So it's not like they're losing focus on indie games. They're giving you those. It's just that they are focusing on big studios and big games. And one of the things is this Days Gone shit. It made me go back and say, let me wrap up Days Gone, because all this Days Gone bullshit in the news. Let me go back and wrap up this game, because I kind of dropped off and I didn't wrap it up. It definitely is very long.
You'll be pleased. Yeah, you'll be pleased wrapping it up.
But it's a great game. I liked it, and it did not reflect the score. Like, whatever Metacritic said it was, I liked it. I thought it was great. It looks incredible. Now it's at 60 frames on the PS5. Like, it's even more incredible than what it looked like.
Way better.
So Jaffe brings on the other dev, the writer and stuff of this, and he put some very interesting things about that. It's basically his hometown and where they're located in Bend in Oregon and all this stuff. And one of the things that he says, and I don't know if I have the clip here. I'm trying to find
Revive indie game series.
I'm trying to find where he says it, but basically he says, the quote is I'm going to say,
yes. So
hold on,
here's the thing. So Days Gone.
Why there were no black people in the game?
Oh no, not that, not the race stuff.
Yeah, because I
thought that was interesting though. That was really interesting.
I was like, that was a weird thing to talk about.
It was weird.
If you play the game, you understand why the freakers are the color they are.
Well, that was a review complaint. Yeah.
Yeah. But but then
Yeah,
he
I'm trying
made
to rack my
he's
brains,
like, I'm a
why
white
would that be
guy, and
true?
I'm a
Prob-
fucking white. I was like, wow, dude, no, you're making it worse. Like, just leave it be.
I
He told
know.
the truth. Like, he's like, look, I'm a white guy. I wouldn't begin to know how.
They
Well,
talk
you
about
know
the
how you
excessive
begin to.
racism in that area.
Yeah, and I was
In
like,
that
how you
area.
begin to know that is you start hiring more black people, black writers.
To try to
That's how
get
you
more
understand.
awareness in the thing.
Yeah, so you can
You
get
know what's funny?
diversity.
That was
Like,
one of the complaints
that was a
on look at
that was a
Twitter.
weird thing for him
Did
to
you
talk
watch
about,
that
though.
show Them on Amazon?
Yes, really good show.
Yeah, man. Like it was whack, but they were making a lot of comments about like there was primarily white writers and stuff like that. Like it really didn't. Like I don't know, they were saying something. They were saying there were just some issues with it and
You,
stuff like that. Like
you
some
know what
people
my
were
thing
saying.
is, and with all the
It
things
was
going on in the
excessive, man.
world,
I was really turned off. Like
I'm-
it was just like, oh my god, like it just some
I'll
of the stuff.
I'll tell you what, Jez.
They tried to throw a
There's
horror
lot
movie
going-
in that movie.
There's a lot going on in the world, right?
Yeah.
A lot going on in the world, and I'll say this, with everything we're seeing on TV with the riots,
Yes.
not the riots. I'm sorry, the protests,
Yeah,
riots.
protest. That's right. Yeah, that's the right word.
The cop killings, the cop abuse.
Oh god.
Yes, we can see that black people are disproportionately treated in some lesser fashion. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You live in America
Yeah,
for more than a day.
But
you're
that
gonna
show
see
was
that.
friggin' crazy, man. That show.
Yeah,
was
but what I would say
crazy.
is like, because there's a big, Kids Move said something I kind of agree with him, and it was kind of like, there are not enough black what's it called editors or writers in the industry, and I agree with them. But there again, because like when I look at IG, and that's the reason why I don't really like. I became a fan of like the Weapon Wheels and all these other podcasts because I was like, man, I get to see people that look like me that play games, And I think that was the thing. Like that was the reason why I liked the different shows I watched. That's why I started watching Weapon Wheels, because I was like, oh, I get to see people who play games who look like me, who talk about it, and it's a different avenue than like.
But also
IGN
too,
and
it's
GameSpot.
people that are not in the industry and getting
and
all the perks
and
of all
that's the
that
thing.
shit too. Like it's
I
more
prefer
people
to
like
talk
with
to
their own
somebody
dollars
who
buying
is
stuff.
a gamer who has to buy it just like me.
Yeah.
Than to talk to somebody who's in the industry because I feel you're going to be a little bit more genuine about what you talk about. That's my personal feeling. And some people may say, no, but I agree. Like I personally think like talking to you or like freaking BG or whoever, I'm gonna get a more genuine approach to
because they've turned those media outlets really
you guys gotta buy it just like I have to buy
exactly
it.
No perks. Like that's the thing. Like I buy everything that I own everything, and I'll give my opinion of where I think my dollar is worth and what value it is for me, and that's why this whole argument with value and all sorts of stuff, and it takes you right into what he was saying. This what's his name, John Garvin, right? So he said a lot of controversial things.
At, the whole
buy
what you want.
Yeah, so he was saying, and I wish I had the clip again. I didn't have everything set for today, but basically he says, and I wish, you know what, maybe. Shut the BitCloud.
Basically, what he basically said.
I'll find it. I want to get exactly how he said it.
Yeah, he said it differently than I'll say it. But basically, he was like, if you like something, fuck what it costs. Just buy what you like.
Yeah.
And people got offended by that. And what I think he meant, I guess I shouldn't say what he meant. What I think he was going as is like, a lot of people are looking at it as like, oh, it doesn't matter what games cost, just buy it. And he wasn't really saying that. He was like, he wasn't saying it. What I got from it was like, oh, if you like this, fuck it. If it costs $70, buy it. Like, if it's a good product, then buy it. Fuck it. And I kind of agree with that mentality. Like, yeah, man, if you like it, why not buy it? I like
the video.
I like the Mass Effect trilogy that's getting remade, and people are gonna tell me you're a sucker for buying it for $59. But guess what? I love Mass Effect, so I'm gonna buy it. I don't feel there's anything wrong with that. But if it was bad, and I'm gonna tell people, hey man, it's bad. They got bugs and blah blah blah. Don't just wait. Like I'm gonna be honest with people because I'm spending my hard-earned money. And if the Mass Effect trilogy comes out and it has something wrong with it, I'm gonna tell people who like Mass Effect like me, who want to buy, hey, don't buy it yet. Wait for them to patch it. Like Cyberpunk, I got Cyberpunk day one.
Oh,
that game was.
And what's interesting, Frog? What's interesting is that. I totally agree with, like, if you love the game, if you want the game, then just buy it. Like, if you buy what you want. But if you're undecided and stuff like that, don't and again, you got to look at it from both ends. The thing is that you don't want to, like, we're not at the liberty, especially at this time point and whatever the shit that's going on. You're not there to just drop money because you just, you free willy just want to throw money out there. Like, they got to market the game and see if it makes appealing. They have to have a good marketing campaign and stuff. Halo got hurt because of bad marketing. The story wasn't what it was, People bought that game, and the problem with people, and like you were saying too about, like, I'm not going to get that on day one. And, one of the things that I want to kind of counter what he said, because I believe, I don't like people, and I think what he was saying was like, if you like the game, buy it, but then don't not buy it and wait for some sale bullshit and wait for it to be cheap and then be like, oh, I wanted a sequel, but I'm not buying this game.
Like Days Gone, because Days Gone to me was a sequel.
All these people were begging for a sequel, but you didn't buy the game, and that's where I think he was getting at, because he was alluding this to piracy. He was saying that he lost so much money on PC due to piracy that that they killed the game. Like, we had no money we didn't even know the sales. We didn't get paid for what we worked on, and that's a totally different thing. But he's bitter about that. But the main thing,
I can understand that though.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying. He went on to say that, and I'm trying to get that clip here. But basically, I think he was just saying, like, hey, buy what you like, own what you like get what you like.
Yes.
If you, and that's where I feel like people like, I'm not interested. I'm just going to wait for it to go on sale. That's fine. Like, you know what I mean? You're not interested in it. But if you're really interested in it and you don't buy it, like, and then complain about why is this game not me, then I think that's what he was trying to get at. And my whole thing is that gaming is an expensive hobby. Okay?
Yeah, it's very expensive.
It's an expensive
hobby. That's like Resident Evil. I like Resident Evil, but I don't feel like the next one, I don't feel as heartwarming about the next one.
But you want to get Returnal because Returnal is newer for you. Yes. You didn't like the other Resident Evil. The thing is that, and this is the thing that's going on the fucking internet and it's driving me fucking insane. This pocket watch bullshit about what you like and what you should buy and what you shouldn't buy.
Yes.
And people on Game Pass going like, you gotta pay $60. Why are you paying $70? I get it for free in Pop-Tarts. This game buying shaming.
If I like it, I'm gonna buy it. Yeah, I'm not gonna game shame anybody.
If
you're subscribed to Game Pass, my mentality is like, you obviously can't afford the games that you want to play, so that's your way of playing it.
And that's you.
And that's you, so there's nothing wrong with it.
For me,
vice versa.
Game Pass would be a double bitch dip because I would subscribe to Game Pass, and the games that I want and the games that I'm interested in are not in Game Pass, so I will have to buy those games.
There you
go. Now I'm paying $15 a month and $60 a month for the games that I want to play, and Game Pass just sits there like a bitch, just collecting $15 a month for games that I might want to play when I have nothing else to play. Oh, I'm bored as shit. Let me see what's in Game Pass. I don't want to pay $15 a month for a bored as shit Game Pass. Like, that is not what I want to pay. That's a lot of money. That's why,
that's a lot of money.
Like I say, like, PlayStation Now is $60 a year. I got it for $44 a year. That is a drop in the bucket for a backup service to say, hey, I'm bored as fuck today. Let me go find something. For $4 a month, that's not bad. But when you're talking about $180 a year, $15 a month, that's almost two, like, subscription services of videos, like, not Netflix, but like, like Disney Plus and another one, like Paramount Plus or something like that. You're talking $15 a month, which is pretty expensive for subscription services. Usually they flat out around 10. You're asking for 15 because guess what? You can't just survive on 10 on console because you need Xbox Network to play those games. Like, if I just say I want Game Pass on Xbox, you can't play CFDs. You can't play Gears of War 5 online. You need Xbox Live, Xbox Network, which is $15. Now on PC, you get away with it with $10, but now you want to stream to the cloud, it's $15. Now you see the increments, the value as they're going to add Ubisoft. Who knows? Maybe it's $20 a month. But it's a pretty high $15 a month to serve as a backup plan, especially since their first-party games are not rolling out every month. Hell, the last first-party game, you don't know anything about anything about when Halo's coming out. The multiplayer, which what I'm interested in mostly, is free to play. So your multiplayer, which that's where all my hours go in Halo, is free to play. After Halo, whatever the fuck is coming out, Avowed, Fable, they said it's 3 years out. I'm not going to pay $360 to wait for first-party games from Microsoft. I'll just buy it when it comes out, you know? But the thing is like, for me, Game Pass is too expensive to serve as a backup for games that I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy Resident Evil. I'm going to buy Returnal. Well, if you give me games, because Microsoft only has third-party stuff. But, like, if you're going to buy Resident Evil, yeah, right? I can't even say Returnal. Whatever's on Microsoft's game, I guess, third party, if I was going to buy them, I'll buy Resident Evil.
Whatever's going to be there.
You know, you're going to buy those games in addition to subscribing. So, unless they start grabbing those games in the interlude, like Resident Evil goes in day and date. Now we might be talking Game Pass. Oh shit! Like, you know, if they pull up some more of that kind of shit, but it's gonna get expensive, and I'm gonna be looking at my bills and going like, well, wait a second, why am I paying $180 a year, and I'm still buying $60 and $70 games on top of that? Because the games that are in this service are kind of like, let me just check this out. Let me just do this. And what John Garvin says is that, you know, Jaffe cuts him off. But he was going on to say, like,
Jaffe loves Game Pass.
Yeah, so Jaffe cuts him off. But he was saying, like, when Days Gone went into PlayStation Now, he was not, or PlayStation Plus, or PlayStation Now, he was like, oh, yeah, now it's in there. Now people are playing it, but you didn't buy it when it came out. You know, he was bitter about that shit. That's what he said in the interview.
Yeah, like, because he doesn't make money. He's like, we don't make as much money as that.
Exactly.
But
the thing is that that's why, you know, and I think the other thing is too, is that gamers, respectfully so, have been fucking screwed by developers. Frog just went on a whole tirade about Outriders and the fucking messed up servers, and he couldn't play the $60 investment that he made. Even the Game Pass investment. You signed up for Game Pass to play Outriders. First off, you couldn't play it for the first 2 days. Servers went down, then they took them down for like 4 days, then they brought them back up again. So, like, all that day and date bullshit doesn't work. Then, on top of that, you have games that drop in there that have day one guns. Oh, we'll fix it. 3 types of fetch quest missions. Halo Infinite is going to have day one guns. Like, I can't get over that bullshit of, like, how the hell does that work in a single player game when you're going to just start patching in guns? The gamers have been screwed. Anthem, Cyberpunk, fucking Yellow Chair Crew. All those pre-orders. People spent their money because they wanted those games, but got screwed. And I'm sorry, you know what? You do that to gamers, they're going to be more cautious moving forward. They're not going to drop all those big dollars now in your games because they got screwed. Good luck. I'm going to say Cyberpunk. Good luck to the quote-unquote God tier developer of Red, who the fuck, CD Projekt Red, releasing Witcher 3 or 4, Witcher 4. You know what pre-orders are going to be on that? Nobody's buying that shit day one. They're going to wait now because you fucked with them. Gamers have long-term memories, and gamers don't want to get screwed. And because of those bad apples, gamers are more cautious on what games are, and they are expensive. So maybe it's going to take a little bit more for us to, quote-unquote, as John said, love a game, to just drop that money on it. You know, I'm not in love with Returnal. It looks good, but I might buy it, but I'm still waiting. I don't pre-order games because I don't think that there's I personally wait until more information comes out before I give my money. Yeah, unless there's an incentive. You're right, Frog. Maybe play it early. Maybe get the expansion pass if you pre-order the pack, or it's discounted. 10% off if you get the pre-order. I'll go for discounts because the thing is that I like to play a lot of games. So I'm going to find my way. And that's why another kind of little rant on this whole owning and shit is that gamers are smart. And that's why when you see Outriders and MLB The Show and Game Pass and you see Microsoft, all this first party, and you're like, oh, look at all this stuff. I'm getting it such a deal. And you're rubbing your hands together like fucking Dr. Evil. You're like, what a deal that Phil doesn't know. Phil doesn't know. Phil doesn't know. Where's my Phil board? Where's my Phil? Where is he? Oh, Xbox. Oh, he don't know I'm getting such a great deal. I bought the Pop-Tarts. Holy shit, Phil don't know I'm getting such a great deal. Xbox. Dude, he fucking knows. And he knows exactly what you're playing. And he fucking knows what he's doing. He's you know what you are. You're a fucking mouse. Hungry as can be for some games. Phil Ness is coming over here and he puts a little bit of peanut butter. And you're like, oh shit. I'm so fucking hungry. And you're going to go over there sniffing around that peanut butter. You're going to, oh my God, there they are. Look at this. He doesn't know. Phil doesn't know. Give me that peanut butter. Give me that peanut butter. And then fucking smack. Here goes your fucking head and Phil increases the price to $25 a month.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. While you're looking your fucking peanut butter. They know. Gamers, you're getting these freebies now because they want you to have those freebies. MLB The Show? What? Yeah. They want you. Because they know once they give you the taste of the peanut butter, here comes the Phil Ness fucking mousetrap.
He claps your head. How Phil knows.
They know. These are all the freebies right now. So that's why when everybody sits here and they rub their fucking nipples about Game Pass, holy shit, my nipples! You know what you're asking for, you motherfuckers. You know that. You're taking your ownership away and you're going to put it in a service where you don't know what the fuck is coming, what's going. But you're going to just give your money out there for somebody to tell you what they're going to make you want to play in Game Pass without making the decision yourself and making an educated consumer. And that's where I agree with John Garvin on this thing, is that buy what you want. And my thing is,
there's nothing wrong with that.
And Frog, and my thing is here is that I believe in an educated consumer. I don't believe in just, nobody has money to spend, unless you're friggin' celebrity status. Nobody has money to just throw around. We're all have families. We all got our own budgets and all this other shit. But you got to be smart with what you're spending on. You're not here throwing $70 out just because you winked at me. Here's $70. No, educated consumer. I worked in consumer sales back in the day at Circuit City. And my eyes would roll when these customers would come in here and I did digital cameras, when they were doing digital cameras. Like, it was like a hard sell for digital cameras because people were still trying to get off the other way. I had these dudes, I used to call them the Sunday bitches, because Sunday morning, I'm at work, fuck work, standing up there, and they will come walking in, Circuit City right at the front. They'll have their fucking Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and he'd walk up to me and go like this. This guy, I swear, this guy said this. Circuit City Stores. I could go on for a whole episode about Circuit City Stores. I'm going to drop in some more. But the guy comes in, he looks at me, he looks at the cameras, and he looks at me and he goes like this with his cup of coffee. At 10:30 in the morning on a Sunday, waiting outside, Frog. He was waiting for the store to open like fucking Black Friday. Him and his wife waiting. What the fuck you gotta wait on Sunday morning? Walking into fucking Circuit City, walks right up to me. Him and his wife, a cup of coffee, and he looks up and he goes, "Who is this Digital?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Who is Digital? I hear about Digital. Who is he?" I'm like, "Excuse me?" "Yeah, tell me about the cameras. Who is this Digital?" And I'm like, what, this is not a fucking classroom. Do you want to buy something? Like, who is Digital? do some fucking research. You're gonna come in here and drop money, and you just did, who was digital, and then I had to explain what a digital camera is to the fucking fool, and then he goes, "Thank you," and he would leave. I'm like, what the? Who the hell walks into a store and just doesn't know what the hell they want? Like, tell me what I need. Like, they will look at these TV. Like, I understand if there's nuances between the things. You come in there. But I would walk into these stores. I would research what I want. And the guy would be like, at Best Buy, someone, "Hey, you need any help? You need any help?" He says, "Come to Circuit City where our service is state of the art." That's right. There it is. Circuit City employee. "Hey, I need a camera." I'm going to tell you, Pug. You know, I wish I was on the camera because I'll show you my patented move. Frog, I patented.
That's hilarious.
I worked in the front of the store, right? Because that's where the fucking cameras and the computers were.
Yep, right in the front.
So
I remember that.
they would come in there, and they would always come to me and go, "Where's printers? Or where's video games? Where's this stuff?" Like I have nothing else to do. Like I was the fucking host of Circuit City. They will come walking in the store. I patented my move. I use my left arm, and I would do like these fancy kind of points where I'm like, up in the air, around the corners, over there. Like, it was just amazing. I patented this move about how I used my arm as an amazing extension to show people where to go. It was really amazing. We had such a great time at Circuit City. I watched a couple steal 2 TVs right by the front door. I just turned my head. There were 2 little TV. There were 2 TVs by the front door, and they had them by the door just as like stacked, like, to buy them. Oh, you might want to buy this. Well, yeah. Well, people just came around the corner, took them, and just ran out. And I'm like, did that just happen? I'm like, 2 people just came in and just took, like a husband and a wife just came in and just took 2 TVs.
Like,
oh, me? I go like this. I'm like, see ya. I don't fucking chase. I'm not chasing anybody. You're not supposed to talk. No, man, I don't give a fuck. I'm not losing my. I'm not chasing anybody. Fuck out of here.
Your life for some TVs. Fuck that.
Nah, fuck that. Let them fucking take it. Yeah, we used to joke. I used to be like, "Oh, you forgot the service plan." Let me tell you about the service plan. Hey, you can get extended warranties on those TVs you just stole. Come back here. Hold on, I forgot you sell service. I need that commission. Dude, there was one guy. One of my managers, man, he was supposed to do it, man. We were there. He jumped on this dude's back. And I didn't even know why. He was like this tall, skinny guy. And he jumped on this guy's back as he was leaving the store, and DVDs and CDs came flying out of his jacket. He was like fucking Neo from the Matrix. Like, he had that trench coat, and dude, the trench coat opened, and fucking DVDs and CDs just fell flying out of this guy. Like he was a fucking digital dispenser, like a CD dispenser.
That's hilarious.
It's crazy, man. This Circuit City was the shit, man. Fucking crazy as shit. I don't know how I got talking about Circuit City. Oh, yeah, anyway, the educated consumer. That's what I was trying to say. Like, the thing is like, you should know what you're going to buy. Don't go in there and just say, "I have no clue what I'm going to buy, but here's a $100 check." Take the research. If you're like, "I don't know if I like this game," then you know what? Read up about it. Get multiple opinions. Watch some videos. You know
Get
what you like.
Get opinions from people you trust.
And that too.
That's the key.
Yeah. And ask. And with YouTube nowadays, man, you could touch in like the chat. Like, shout out to the grinders in the chat. Dude, it's like you could like reach out to anybody, get a lot of opinions. And that's the thing. Don't just get one opinion. I'm always get both sides of the story. Yep. And don't just listen to one place and say, that's why Metacritic I like for just looking at what the consensus is of the negative reviews. That's how I do it.
Look at Open Critic, look at everything.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, you'll make and use that education. Like, that's what I'm doing for Returnal, because like I'm not just going in and saying I got and this is the other thing. Yeah. Like, I know they say to support the dev and stuff like that, but hey, I'll
support it if it's a good game. But
exactly.
I don't like for instance, Godfall. I'm so happy I didn't just.
I didn't pay full price for Godfall.
No, I didn't pay full price. Yeah.
I didn't play full price for it because that's another thing. Same thing like with Pathless. I thought Pathless was incredible, but I didn't pay for that $40 or whatever it was at launch.
I didn't pay full price.
I paid $25, $30 for it. Now, the John Garvin probably scream at my head and saying, "Well, you want Pathless too, bitch. You didn't pay full price for Pathless." It's like, you know what? I saw the game and I'm like, I'll wait for that to go on sale. And the thing is that we shouldn't be
I
shamed.
don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No, it shouldn't be shamed to play a game on sale, especially if you play a lot of games. But the thing is like this whole ownership, and I do feel that when you buy a game, you definitely are more invested, because that's one thing I can't grasp when I hear people go, I'll try it because it's in Game Pass. Yeah, I played it for 5 minutes and then I deleted it.
Yeah, but you're not invested in that game, really. I don't think people on Game Pass are invested.
I just don't know, Frog, how that's a success. Like, how can
like
Phil
when,
sit there with
when
a
Halo
smirk
comes
and go,
out,
yeah, that's what I
know
want.
I'll be invested in that. Yeah, when Halo comes out, I know I'll be invested in that. So I want to own that. I don't want to play it in Game Pass because, there's certain games like Fable comes out, I'll probably want to own that. Because I like games like that. Next Fallout comes out, I'll want to own that. There's just certain games you don't. You just look at me like, yeah, that's not something I want to Game Pass.
Yeah, I just went back and read the comments. The Coon says, Jezel said Paulie Walnut stole the people who stole from Circuit City. That's right. I'll send Paulie Walnuts and I'll send, get over there. Fucking gabagool, get the hell over here stealing the goddamn TVs. Nah, man, I didn't chase them down. I didn't stain people, man. They took that shit. Nah. That's it, man. I was not, dude.
I'd be the same way. You take it, you took it. Oh well.
Excuse me, man. Me and my oh man, I'm not gonna do a circus thing, but this thing's been going on late. But I had I met my roommate. We left Circuit City together and we roomed because we got jobs up in the city. So like we would just say this crazy ass shit. I would send people to him. He worked in cell phones at the time, and like cell phones was like big market and shit like that. Man, I would send people to him. We would fuck with people so much, man. It was so funny dealing with customers. That's what I said. Like when people go Series S and Series X, the customer will know that. No, customer is stupid. No,
they won't know. The customer is stupid. 9 times out of 10, the customer is pretty dumb.
That's what I'm just saying. People come in the store. That's why I can't stand people that just don't know what the hell they're doing. Why are you here? You planning to spend money? Like, I would feel bad because I would like say, I'll give you my opinion on it, but I would not take advantage of somebody that didn't know, because you know what? I knew that would probably get returned. When they got rid of restocking fees and all the other stuff, I knew like they would return that shit and be pissed. So I built up a clientele because I gave people my honest impressions. I even took, like, when I get cameras, I took photos and stuff with the cameras at the place and printed them out and brought them in there. And they're like, oh, show me. I'm like, well, I got photos off of this camera. They're like, what? Yeah, I'm like, that's the one I own. I'm like, well, what's this one? I'm like, well, that's shit. That Kodak is shit. Get this one, man. Anyway, but the thing is, like, yeah, the consumer need, like, but as a gamer, I think gamers are different types of consumers. They're definitely more educated.
They're very different, and that's why I think that when you talk about streaming services and a Netflix type service, I think gamers are fickle. I think those services work in small bursts. I don't think it's the end all be all to everything. Like, that's why I think Game Pass is good for Xbox gamers.
Frog, Dominic Thornbow says, oh, dude, tip. He took my tip of the day. Never go full Ubisoft. You never buy Ubisoft games day one. Exactly, Dominic.
Hell no.
Comment of the day, and also,
thank you, yes.
And Curtis has a good comment here too. Supporting the devs doesn't mean buying the game on day one. Exactly. The fact that you buy the game, especially in the world right now where we're talking about renting games or sampling them in a service versus buying them.
We're talking about where you got people who are like, they can't even afford to pay their mortgage or rent. Hey, you might as well just go on ahead and just, buy it when you can. Or, I heard somebody shame. Let me tell you, I meant to say this. I saw some people on Twitter. They were freaking like putting people down. They were basically like, oh, if you game share, you're not supporting the dev. Didn't Sony come out and say, hey, this is how you game share? You can have up to 2 like they were the ones that allow it. They wouldn't allow it if they didn't want you to do it. Why would you freaking look at somebody and look down on somebody and say, oh, if you game share, you're not really supporting the dev? Get the fuck out of here. People complain about everything and cancel this and cancel that. Sometimes, man, I can't stand humanity for the ignorance they have. Because it's like, I don't know if it's intentional, if they just want to be, I don't know if they want to be edgy or cool. I'm like,
I have no clue, man. Everybody needs their phones and computers taken away from them.
I've been game sharing with my PS4 since I can remember with the same person. You know what we do? He goes half on the game, I go half on the game. So when it's a $60 game, I spend 30, he spend 30. We still play the game together. So
Yo,
I
I'm
only
gonna tell
buy the
you,
game
Frog.
once, but I don't get it.
Frog, I'm gonna say one thing. The grinders. That's why I love the grinders. The dudes in the chat totally like they have. Here's some of these statements. These should be put on the boxes. Sergeant X11 says never pre-order Bethesda games.
Thank you.
The Coon 1985 says never pre-order. Period. That's me.
Yeah, there's really no reason. Here's the only reason to pre-order: if it's something you really like and is giving you something that you want that you can't get after if you didn't pre-order. Other than that, don't pre-order. There's no reason to pre-order. Look, I'm totally with not pre-ordering. Like, so if there's a game, like I'll say it like this: I know for a fact I'm getting freaking Mass Effect, right? I don't need to pre-order because there's no incentive. I know for a fact I'm getting Ninja Gaiden. I don't need to pre-order because there's really no incentive for me.
Yeah.
So I'll get them day one.
Well, I'll buy them day pre one if it has all perks.
Yeah.
I'll order it the day before.
But if there's like, oh, you get this, you get that, man, both these games are coming with all the DLC. What more do I need? All I need to see is that it runs well and it looks good.
There's another quote, Grinders. I got another one for you. Never pre-order a season pass. That's never happening again.
Thank you.
Never pre-order. You're selling me hopes and dreams of bullshit that I don't even know what the fuck I'm paying for.
You know why you never pre-order a season pass? Because every game, like, matter of fact, I'll give you a prime example of a game I just purchased with the season pass. It was $30. It was $29.99. Dirt 5 had a season pass year one. If you bought that game day one, it'd have been like $79, $89, something like that. I got it for $29.95 with the season pass.
Yeah,
I'm like,
there you go.
You don't need to purchase a season pass anymore. Look, I'm gonna tell you what. If anybody hasn't realized it, Call of Duty realized something, and people shit on Call of Duty, but Activision, look, let me tell you, they're not. Those guys are smart. They were like, yo, stop charging for maps. Fuck that. Let's just give people maps. And you know what? We'll just do the season pass thing like Fortnite does. And that makes them way more money than people buying season passes.
Frog, you know what's interesting? I was thinking the same thing. And if you go back and think about
money.
Yeah, if you think about Frog, if you think about what Call of Duty used to be with its map packs, this is why when people celebrate, when I was talking about how Phil knows and he was going to snap your head like with this whole Game Pass future, subscription future, they know. Because remember, just go Call of Duty with the map packs. When you were paying for map packs, you were getting 4, and they were like events. Now tell me how many map packs we get when they said, hey, all map packs are free, and everybody's like, yay. Well, guess what? The whole model changed. You're not getting map packs like we used to.
You know why they make more money? Because they said, hey,
the guns.
We can give them all these maps for free, and we can start charging them for bullets that shoot red bullets.
Exactly. But Frog, they're not even giving these maps for free, though, Frog. The maps frequency is like nil.
It's nil. But Call of Duty is figured out. Call of Duty, let me tell you what. Activision watch Fortnite. They watch everything Fortnite. And they said, we're going to mimic Fortnite because we're the next biggest thing. Because Call of Duty was the biggest thing until Fortnite came out. Now that Fortnite's out, it's like, okay, Fortnite's still big, but Call of Duty mimicked what they did, and I'm not going to lie, it's genius, right?
Oh,
you buy...
They found the way.
And here's the thing. It's genius for 2 reasons. If I buy the season pass one time for Call of Duty at $10, if I am a true Call of Duty fan, I will never, ever have to spend another dime. But if I'm the kind of guy who plays it here and there, I got to go spend money on the new freaking season. So when they came out with, what was it, Modern Warfare?
Yeah, the season 3's coming out now.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I was a hardcore Call of Duty fan. I bought the map pack once. So I spent the $59.99 and the $10, so $69. But because I was a hardcore Call of Duty fan, I would get my money back because I would earn everything in that season. Then the next season come out, I'll earn anything in that season. With the new Cold War, I don't play it like that, so I don't care. But what I'm saying is they're smart because they knew, oh shit, people only play Warzone. It's a free-to-play model, but they're going to want bullets that can shoot red or green or pink or whatever. We can make money like that. And guess what? the free-to-play model of Warzone is working. Why? Because now people are like, shit, I want those green bullets because they look dope. I want those blue bullets because I want this camouflage on my weapon. Because they're playing a free-to-play model. Dude, they're making so much money.
They are.
Off
And
of
same thing with
free-to-play
Fortnite.
games.
Like, they update the map every 4 months.
And guess what?
But guess
And they
what?
make so much
Every
money.
night they got different skins every day.
And let me tell you, if people haven't been realizing what Fortnite and Call of Duty are doing, Fortnite has it where you can play it on a monthly subscription. It's like a subscription.
Oh yeah,
service.
I know. I'm part of it. My son's part of it. I got him.
It's genius.
It's genius, dude.
It's genius because to the consumer, you get a lot of stuff.
He gets exclusive skins, a whole set every month. You get the season pass, the battle pass.
The Aloy skin
yes,
coming out?
yeah, but she's fucking $26.
I'm gonna tell you what,
$26 for a skin.
It is genius. It's genius. It's so smart. I'm like, holy shit! I need to take what they're doing and I need to mimic.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I play. He plays a lot, but I watch him play, and I even play and level up from him sometimes when he's sleeping because I'll level up. I'm telling you, Fortnite. Yo, they're doing like the primal thing now, so that's why Aloy's in there because they're doing all this like primal kind of Far Cry primal stuff, and she fits right into that. But I'm telling you, like their map design, what they have done, they figured it out. They got the music, they got the TikTok dances in there. They're relevant in culture.
Yes.
And
Call of Duty trying to mimic that.
They're trying to do. But another example I want to say too is like look at Gears 4 versus Gears 5. Gears 4 had all those skins in it, and you got all the maps because remember they started doing. Yeah, Curtis says $26. Yeah, $26 for Aloy skin and back bling and shit. It's crazy how much she is.
Yeah, the season they tried to do the season pass, and then they were like,
and then what happened was that they tried to do so like they had all those maps. So I think somebody did a post like they had like 12 maps in the first year for Gears 4. Look at Gears 5 launching in Game Pass, and. The Goon says, I'm secretly watching my son for Fortnite tips. Yes, trust me. Well, he finds me and shows me all the tips and stuff, man. He's like a friggin' skilled, he teaches me some moves. Yeah. You know what? Because I'm going to tell you this, the Coon is probably going to laugh and the Grinds are going to laugh. I never got a Victory Royale, and when he got his first one by himself, that inspired me to get one. And I've gotten like two by myself because I've never even thought about doing that shit. And then I was able, by watching him play,
let me tell you something.
I was inspired.
I'm not a big fan of that game, right? Fortnite. But I played it enough to get a couple of victories by myself, and it feels real damn good.
Oh yeah.
You know, even when I play Modern Warfare, I play Payday or I think it's called Payday or whatever, and I just go after the money. And that game is so fun when you're playing with people that you know, and you're just trying to collect money. You're trying to get that $1 million, and you're running around, you see money flopping out your. I'm gonna tell you, man. There is an appeal to. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what Call of Duty does to people, but every year Call of Duty comes out for some reason. There's just that appeal, like you gotta own it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't plan on buying a new Call of Duty this year, but in all intents and purposes, January might come around. I might be like, fuck, I gotta buy it. It's something about Call of Duty.
But if they go, if they go
World War II, I don't really want to do World War II. That's the rumor. They're going World War II. I'm hoping they don't. I would like them to do something modern, like Battlefield. I want Battlefield to do something modern. But like I said, like I think it's something about Call of Duty. Certain games, you get a feel about it. And I can say like every year, for some reason, like people got to like they were like, I'm not buying 2K this year, and then they're like, damn man, I bought 2K this year.
I know. You say it now, but then when the ball starts rolling,
dude,
and you feel like you're missing
I was like,
you're gonna get
I'm not buying 2K. I was like, last year, I was like, I'm not buying 2K. And then Kobe passed, and Kobe was on the cover. I was like, fuck, man. I got to buy 2K, man. And I bought 2K.
Kobe passed is not a publicity stunt, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I bought,
but they put him on there,
Kobe, But I bought Kobe. Because I had to buy the Kobe edition. I was like, there's no way I'm not buying the Kobe edition.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting there, I was like, man, I'm not buying Call of Duty. And then I was looking at it, I was like, fuck, man, a new system's coming out. This Call of Duty looks good on it. And I got it on PS5.
Oh, the Coon says a COD Civil War.
Oh, my God. You know what? I'm not going to lie. That would be very interesting because it'd be different.
Yep.
You know, look,
And
There's some
Vietnam. I
games,
don't still know why they never went to
man.
Vietnam.
I want a Vietnam game
Did that
so bad.
Yeah,
But
right?
you notice that they kind of stay away from wars we really haven't won. They don't really want to go to those wars. Look, I would even at this point, I would take a full. They did the Modern Warfare 2 remaster. I want that. Where's that multiplayer? I want that Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 had the best multiplayers. Why did they give us that? Activision knows what they're doing, man. You know,
Hey, it's number one sells on
Warzone.
MPD again.
Look,
They
look,
know
look.
what they're doing.
Warzone. We PS5 players need a PS5 update for Warzone. There are certain games we need an update for. And here's the other thing I was going to mention earlier because I know we're getting ready to end
Yeah.
on Microsoft. I want to send this to Microsoft. People who are big Xbox guys. Are any more 360 games coming to Xbox as far as back compatible? Because it seems like they just stopped.
They stopped
I
2
don't know
years
if
ago.
people. Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't know if people notice that. But Microsoft always talks about backward compatibility, but nobody ever says, "Hey, Microsoft, you talk about backward compatibility. When are more games coming?" Because they stopped, like you said, 2 years ago, and it's like they're done.
Yeah,
And they talk
2019,
about
I
how.
think they stopped.
But
2019.
what I'm saying is they keep talking about backward compatibility, but they're talking about the same games we've been playing for umpteen years.
Yeah.
Like when are more games coming? Like there's so many more games you can make backward compatible. There's such a big there's so many games you can make backward compatible, and I don't know why they're not making them backward. So my whole thing is like, okay, great, you got all these games backward compatible. Where are the rest of the 360 games? Like one
Well, the
thing I
people
will
are
say,
waiting for the booster. Like they're waiting for booster now. They stopped
you
at
know what
10 games, and now they're like, where are the rest of them? Like,
yeah,
this
you
is
know
what
what I
Microsoft
think.
does, though. They trickle shit out to you, man.
People you know what I think, Jez? I think people are waiting for boost patches. I think people are just like, hey, we get to play Cameo at 4K 60, or 1080p 120 frames. This is so cool. I'm like, yo, fuck that. Give me more games. The more content you give me that I have accessibility to, the more I am to play
Dude,
backward
no,
compatible in your system.
if you remember back in
Do you think they completely
2019.
stop like they're
Well,
done?
back in 2019 at E3, when Phil said, I'm happy about what I didn't show you in 2019, the last real E3 that we had, he said that they were stopping backwards compatibility updates to games, adding new games, because they want to make sure that all the games that they have currently in the backwards compatibility program run on the next gen Xbox and run better, I guess, with those updates. So since then, E3 2019, they have not added new games to backwards compatibility, nor to the Xbox OG. That's why everybody made such a big deal about, the OG store is still open. The OG store's not open. They got 20 games that work backwards compatible. That's it. They stopped at like 20 games on the OG
So do you think
Xbox.
they're done?
I think they're done for
With the 360 ones.
You know what? I don't know. I think right now they are focused. Right now, I don't think them dropping 360 games in Game Pass is gonna
That's
draw
not their
the
focus.
attention. No, I don't think that's gonna happen anymore because they've been slowly but surely. Game Pass used to be all 360 games,
Yes.
and I think slowly but surely, I don't think them dropping 360 games unless there's some like really one that people really really want to play and they drop that in Game Pass, but they haven't dropped the Game Pass 360 game in there in a long time. So I don't know if that's going to draw in the crowds, but right now I think that their main focus is going to be interesting is seeing their Game Pass strategy if they move forward with trying to grab some of these third party games day and date.
Hey, if they can put a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 in there, a 2K1 PGA Tour, if they can throw the Avengers in there like Sony did in PlayStation Now, a Diablo 2, a Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, remake. They got a Control. I think if
the
Microsoft,
next gen Control, not the original Control.
Yeah, not the next gen. Yeah, I think if Microsoft could throw some of these games in there, it's very compelling to say, you know what, this is why I'll play on my. It's very compelling to say I'll play here and I'll just buy my. For me as a gamer, I'll be like, well, I'll buy my exclusive here, and then the ones I'm playing with my friends I'll buy on my PlayStation, but everything else I'll buy on my Xbox or play on my Xbox because me as a gamer, like I look at it like I purchased Outriders on my PlayStation 5, right? Before I found out that it was going to Game Pass. Then when I found out it was going to Game Pass, I was like, fuck. Should I just play it on Game Pass? Because it's crossplay, right? And then when I realized the game was just working so bad, I was like, I
Yeah,
don't
the
give a fuck
crossplay's
about
not.
this game.
Yeah,
Period. But my whole thing is because of its
and not cross
crossplay,
progression either. So all the
yeah,
leveling
not
you
cross
did in that
progression,
demo.
but because
That's
of
why
its
you know what's
crossplay,
Frog. That's why I thought the Outriders thing and even the MLB thing, like. I'm not a fan of that strategy because like they make you pre-order the games and then a week before the
right,
game's coming out, they're like, "Oh, it's coming to Game Pass," and you got to go cancel, and it's just we like I don't
right.
understand, and I because I said there were two big moves that they did, but like I never understood why they did them in such a way. Like you would think if those games are coming to
I,
Game Pass,
I
and
think
they would have
I
locked it
honestly
down and kind
think
of talked about it, hyped it up for the month instead of the week
I think
before.
Sony knew it was going to Xbox. I don't think Sony knew it was going to go to
No,
Game Pass.
but I'm
Day
saying,
one.
but even the way Microsoft announced both of those games, like the week or so before they came out, they basically said
Right.
these games, or the show, yeah, the show was noticed like 2 weeks ago, and then Outright was like 2 weeks
Hmm.
before, and they said like, hey, it's coming to Game Pass, and it's like, why are you making this like as disruptive as it is? Like, is it a way to kind of sneak in pre-orders, but then also get those Game Pass people on at the last minute? Because you got people canceling pre-orders. I mean, they gave like a tutorial on how to cancel your game for Outriders. I'm like, and if you go by just to the final topic about how that guy was like, hey, buy your games at full price. I can't imagine he would see that and go, wow, like you're making people just like you would want people to
It,
buy your
you know
game.
what?
Why would you want them to
Yeah,
cancel the
because
pre-order?
that's just like no, because I look at this whole thing and I'm like, man, what if because I know that some PlayStation games are going to PC. I'm like, what if some of these games were just to go, obviously go to PC? What if some of these games were to go to a Game Pass if they weren't, I guess you could say, developed by a Sony studio? So, like, say for instance, a game like Death Stranding that Kojima made is like, hey, we put it on PC, and if I'm not mistaken, Sony did not publish it on PC. If I'm not mistaken, they didn't publish it on PC. If the game is not published, because if I'm not mistaken, the MLB game on Xbox is not published by Sony, it's published by the MLB.
Yes,
So,
it is. It's
but
about MLB.
does it
MLB
be
had their
does
full
it,
hand in this shit.
right? Do we get to a point in console gaming where we're like, it's no longer worried about who's developing, it's just the publisher. So if Sony's like, we don't want to publish this game, and you wanted to put it everywhere, or Microsoft vice versa, and they're like, well, hey, whoever can publish this, like 505 Game Studios can publish Halo. Let's just say 505 Game Studios can publish Halo Infinite on PS5. Like we know that never happened,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, look, the reality is we know whatever comes to PS5 that's big is going to sell. Like if Microsoft had to say, I'm trying to think of a franchise. Okay, if Microsoft says, hey, we found out Ori 1 and 2 is coming to PS5, we obviously know Microsoft is not publishing it. And Sony's like, oh, we'll publish it. Or one of Sony studios is like, we'll publish the game. We're going to have this. We know the game is going to sell better, vice versa. I can't think of a Microsoft studio game that could be made for Microsoft that would be put on PlayStation, with the exception of maybe like a
Well,
Gears
Minecraft
of War.
Dungeons was on there.
Which one? What game?
Minecraft Dungeons.
Minecraft Dungeons. But what I'm saying,
And
what I'm saying
Psychonauts
is,
2 and
I think that was published by
and
Microsoft though.
what was the other game? But
Yeah, but that was
Psychonauts 2
published by. I
Wasteland
don't think
3.
I don't think Microsoft has a problem publishing games on
No.
PlayStation or even the Switch. I think that Sony's like, we really don't want to publish this game, so MLB was like, we'll just do it. Because that'd be like,
No, Sony
Uncharted.
probably said we'll publish it. You know what the thing is? MLB ran with this, and the thing is that it makes sense. It made business sense because you have an established audience who are buying MLB The Show on the PlayStation. They are going to
Right.
buy the game. You have a new audience that either doesn't know. If I had $1 million in marketing, I would say put a majority of it into the new audience that has no clue, because we've
There you
made
go.
a fuss that this is now going multi-platform and this is a big deal. So the people on Sony know this game's coming out. The people on Microsoft don't. Advertise the fuck out of Xbox. with MLB The Show, so everybo's aware
Right.
that this is
Because PlayStation
multi-platform.
owners already know they're
Yeah,
getting it.
why would you
Xbox
spend
owners may
money
not know,
advertising
right.
to the people that already know where to go to eat? You know?
Right.
Why would you do that? So that's why
agree
MLB
with that.
and that's why a Game Pass was a great thing for them because, you know, and the last thing I'll say about this thing, what's interesting too, is that I wonder if pre-order engagement and reception to demos and tech demos on Xbox kind of gave Microsoft leverage to maybe have these games go in Game Pass. Maybe they saw the pre-orders on MLB. They thought MLB's like, hey, first baseball game on Xbox, million pre-orders, right? And it feels like maybe 20,000. They're like, what? Only 20,000? Well, I got this Game Pass right here. You know, that'll give a lot of exposure. Also, we have it on Android.
Yeah, put it in Game Pass.
You know, and then the same thing goes with Outriders. There was a lot of people complaining about that one. Maybe when they saw the pre-orders relative, because the thing is that you look at Ubisoft, you look at when they look at Capcom when they pronounce their numbers. Where does the majority of their games sell on the PlayStation? Xbox is always like the third wheel. Like it's like 40% PlayStation. It's like 20% Xbox.
If you get a game like Outriders and you're like, hey, this is new. We don't have that many pre-orders. Hey, put it in Game Pass.
Exactly.
That's kind of smart.
That's what I said. It was a smart move because it's an underdog move. I said it's a move that Sony's not going to be able to do. Sony's not going to throw MLB in PlayStation now because why? Nope. They got 4 million people pre-order the fucking game because that's what they do every year.
I will tell you like this: if Resident Evil were to go to Game Pass day one. I'm planning.
Dude, I'm gonna say that was the next one I was predicting. I was like, if they grab Resident Evil like a week before coming to Game Pass, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, Phil's not fucking around, man.
Yeah, when they start
getting, they start doing like that shit.
Then I know.
Then I'm gonna have to. Then I'm gonna have to look sideways. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, this may be where I'm playing from now on. Yeah, because I'm like, fuck. Like I only have to pay $10 for this. Like, and I got it for a year, but what I'm saying is like that makes.
Hey, if they're giving out if that's goodwill, Phil, man, this is the thing. Like, that's why when the John's like, just buy the game full price. That's what you can do. I'm not a fucking fool. Like, you know what I mean? No. I will support a dev if I believe that game is valued and that's the best place. But like, if you
Returnal, I'm buying.
Dude, if you tell the $70 game is now going to be in a subscription, uncompromised.
Right, I'm taking a big risk on buying something that's it's not.
Dude, example, Resident Evil 8, Frog. Resident Evil 8. If Microsoft comes out like a week before and they go, Resident Evil 8 is in Game Pass day and date.
That's where I'm playing it.
Dude, like now you're like, well, wait a second here. You're gonna save me $60 because I'm gonna go play this game. Especially the type of game that Resident Evil is. It's a one playthrough. You're done.
Yeah.
There's no multiplayer. There's no seasons. There's no. That's why I can't see that game being in Game Pass day one. That'll be a huge move. But
and that's why I say games like at this point, I think I'm be honest. I think that Cyberpunk when it's finally fixed is going to be in Game Pass.
Shit! Game Pass, the yellow chairs with the yellow Metacritic.
I think the PS5 and Xbox
Game Pass
are gonna. I think the Xbox
Yellow Pass. I'm gonna call it. We should call Game Pass Yellow Pass.
Yeah, because my whole thing is like when I look at games, I'm like shit. Cyberpunk at
you said the thing about what is it about Oddworld? Like that's a PlayStation Now game day one. I was like, holy shit! That did end. They announced it. I'm like,
and you know what?
And it is. It is. I wouldn't pay for it.
It's not a bad game, but it just looks like a game that you're like, that's not going to sell. So put that on PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now.
Like, that's a PlayStation Plus.
And
you know,
and that's why I'm waiting for Sony. I think the E3 this year will be the biggest E3 that we're looking forward to because there are new consoles out. So I think this E3 is more important to everybody than anything because if you really can't convince me about your next 2 or 3 years by showing things like Microsoft this year, I guarantee they show Halo multiplayer and Halo Infinite. And
they have to. They'll guarantee. They got to. They got to show that shit before E3.
But I also think that Sony will announce that we're getting.
Sony's going to show their new VR.
They're going to show the VR. I think they show Horizon Forbidden West. I think that God of War, they show gameplay, but I think they say, hey, it's delayed to next year.
And show what Sony Bend is working on.
Yeah, and I think they're going to show us some games we don't know, but I can't believe that God of War and Horizon will come out this year. I think we're going to get. Here's 1 or 2 things are going to happen. God of War will come out this year and Horizon won't, or Horizon will come out this year and God of War won't. Only one of those games is coming out this year.
And the next
And
one
if I
comes
had to-
out early the following
Yeah.
year.
And if I was a betting man, I would say that God of War comes out this year, Horizon gets delayed to next year because God of War has a template they can work on, whereas Horizon is
But Horizon
brand new
also
world.
has the PlayStation 4 version, so the further that thing goes out, the less of that PlayStation 4 version is going to matter.
Right. And I just think that, God of War may be the game that we're looking at that Sony's like, hey, this is only on PS5, only place you can play it. And we're like, holy shit, this game is amazing. I think they need that holy shit moment, especially with everything going on. And I think that, Can of Bridge of Spirits is going to be a good game. I think there's a lot of games we don't know about, but when I sit back and just kind of look at the whole picture, Microsoft really needs that. They
need a move
Halo
like
to come out
that.
this
Like
year.
they need, like you said, next month, Resident Evil month, Resident Evil 2, Resident
Yes.
Evil 3, and Resident Evil 8 all in Game Pass. They
Yes.
start flexing
Yes.
like that each, like, oh, like,
It makes a big difference.
dude, now
It
you're
makes-
like,
What
Yeah.
it makes me do is it makes me say, well, I got my PS5.
I don't have to
when
buy
I get a
all
Series
those
X,
games on PlayStation 5.
when
I
I
can
get a
play
Series
them
X,
here.
when I get a Series X, I don't have to invest in those games again. I can just play them.
Yeah.
And going forward in the future, I'll look at the multiplayer.
Exactly,
games
it
and
makes
both.
sense. But the
Yeah, it
thing
makes
is
sense.
like I'll eat up, and like I said, I'll eat up all that goodwill now. But it comes with a price, and I'm not gonna fall into
Game
that
Pass
trap.
is going up in price.
Yeah, it's
Best
gonna
believe
come.
it's gonna
I'm
go up in
telling
price.
you, they're
It's gonna do what a Netflix
This-
did.
yeah.
Netflix started out cheap, and guess what? Once they started saying, "Hey, this is 1080p, this is 4K," it went up in price. They're like, "Oh, you
they
don't want to
know,
pay?"
man. They know all these
yeah.
things right now. Like, I think, who the hell was I? I was listening to a podcast and they were saying, like, the biggest thing right now, just like what Microsoft's doing, is that they're being Game Pass is a loss leader. Like Netflix
Yeah.
is a loss leader. Like they
They
don't
care
care.
if they lose money.
They're losing money left and right here to just get the number of people up there, because they know when you have the number of subscribers, that gives you more leverage in the game. Like, if you got Sony sitting out there with 140 consoles, and then you could sit there and go, well, we have 50 million.
Whatever your name is, get ready for the big
balance it
surprise.
Hey, what's up? Hey, wow, look at this, Alex. Welcome to the Grindhouse. My friggin' notifications work. That
Nice,
was
nice.
Alex. Welcome to the Grindhouse. He just showed
Wait,
up.
which Alex? Oh no, it's Alex.
No, Alex. That just showed up. Thank you, Alex, for joining the Gaming Grindhouse. It was Alex Escalara. Hope I said your name right. But thank you for joining the Gaming Grindhouse. Hit that sub button. Look at this. I got somebody subscribing live, and my notification worked. There it is. Awesome.
Nice.
And I got my Arnold thing. Wow. I hit the horns. Alex gets this horns from Silent Hill. Shout out to Alex. Thank you for being a new subscriber. And everybody, a reminder, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. We're on the way to 1,000 subs. We're at 700, just about 760 now. We'll keep on trucking. Keep on grinding. And with that, we'll conclude an epic Grinds Table episode with Frogs. He had to catch up over 3 weeks of podcasting. We had to catch up. And it was an awesome show, man. Yo, awesome time. Thank you again.
Awesome.
And tell everybody where they can find you on PlayStation, on Twitter. Tell them where they can find you, Frogs.
So on PlayStation it's Frog and Pepper. On Xbox it's Frog and Pepper. On Twitter it's Frog's Dreams. I play and I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with my wife, Pepper and Frog, and my buddy, Liquor Yardy. We've been playing Hunt the Showdown. Damn, that game is good. $14.
Yes,
right
that
now
is good. I have that game. It got an update.
$14 in the PlayStation Store. I didn't think that I was gonna like that game. That game is really fun.
It is good.
It's really good.
It's tense.
We were streaming Outriders, but unfortunately, that game doesn't work for all of us. So we're streaming Hunt the Showdown. We're enjoying it. We stream, like I said, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. but we're on a different YouTube. Our YouTube channel is called WYFB Crew. So please subscribe to that channel. We're trying to grow on that channel and
go
we're just
subscribe.
trying to do our
Wait, you have the
thing.
link? Drop the link in the chat.
Oh, it's WYFB Crew. That's the link.
Is it on YouTube?
Go ahead. Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can go ahead and subscribe to that. I go ahead and I put it on my own YouTube channel, but I mean not my own YouTube channel, my own Twitter channel.
I'll drop it in there.
We have our own Twitter. We all have our own Twitter page. It's
Oh,
WYFB
Frog, wait a
Crew.
second. Wait. WYB Crew. If you search that on, it's a
No,
girls'
it's
dance
called
team.
WYFB.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, because WYB Crew is a dance team.
No, it's not a dance team. WYFB Crew.
The Frog gonna fucking jam out.
So WYFB
I got it.
Crew on
There you
Twitter
go.
and WYFB Crew on YouTube. We get on there. It's husband and wife and a friend, and we have fun, man. My wife can, she's a different kind of gamer, so we have conversations that are really unique. My wife will say some things.
Check him out there. There's his link right there. That's not the dancing crew. Frog's not going to be dancing to freaking Cascada.
No.
Hit me with the horns again. Everybody wants those horns, Frog.
Yeah, my wife is pretty funny.
Dude, awesome. Yes. And when Frog streams, man, it is intense.
It's pretty intense all the time.
Everybody likes those horns. Well, the Grinds table has come to an end. Epic show, episode 15. Buy what you like, and the Sony stores stay open, and a slew of other topics. Film this dance team. Oh shit, this thought. You guys keep going, man. I'm gonna head to bed. But what an awesome show. Thank you again, Frogs. Hit that like button, everybody. Hit that subscribe button. Just have a sub. Hey, man, hit that sub. I'm hitting the songs. There we go. I didn't know what the hell happened. I heard Arnold yelling. I'm like, I didn't hit a button. He's like, whatever your name is, get ready for a big surprise.
Whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
And don't forget, Grinders.
You're my #1 customer.
There we go. And I'm out, everybody. Thank you again. Thank you, Frogs. What an awesome show. And this concludes another epic show. Keep it locked here for more Grinds My Gears, Grinding Streams, and the Gaming Grindhouse. Thank you again, and good night to all the grinders. Thank you.